There we go. Okay, now you guys can hear me, right? I think I saw something from Barry Little earlier. I thought I saw a super chat. I don't know what happened. I was gonna hit y'all with a reckless stream this morning, and life happened, and then I couldn't, and then yeah. So now, error, Mr. Z. Here I go. I am here. Oh no, I don't know what happened, but yeah, life happened, and I couldn't do the reckless stream this morning, and that's how the cookie crumbles. So, right, this is probably going to be an open panel, but you know, I want to do the Doomer stream. I wanted this to kind of be the Doomer stream, but I think that might have to hold off until Monday maybe. Um, but I will be bringing up a panel in a little bit. You said I faded out a little bit. Oh, faded is out. Oh, my bad. No, man, life happened, and the reckless stream. That's why they call it the reckless stream. Don't say it in the comments. But yeah, so for those of you that checked out the link in the description, oh boy. Okay, so waving the red flag. This is the channel that I've referenced a couple of times when y'all hear me say Eddie. That's the brother with the more curly hair, lighter skin. Looks kind of racially ambiguous, but okay. Josh is the brother with the beard. And then Alvin is the one in the corner, and then they had the white trans British dude, I guess, as a guest. And yeah, so oh boy. I think that we should start off with the most important quote Sid, really, or at least one of the most important things said, and this pretty much says everything y'all need to know. It tells you, it says everything, and it's pretty damn short too. That's the crazy part. So y'all know Mr. Z, shoestring budget, spitball budget, Velcro budget. So we're going to play this, and this is going to pretty much tell us everything we need to know, and then I will be speaking on, excuse me. Speaking on this, might rant a little bit. Yeah, so here we go. All right.
Person will racism. However, to your point, Josh, I do think there are prejudices against men. I don't think those prejudices are something that I want to give too much time to, because if I'm devoting finite resources on how we solve certain things, that's very far down the list of, that's like 200th on the list of problems that I need to solve in the world. But maybe I got you. Yeah, but I do think that what you're saying at its core is correct. But I think that a lot of people try to think of it as an equal and opposite reaction to what women experience, and that's just not massage. Yeah.
Okay, so what else y'all need to know? He just said it. Yeah, pretty much exactly what the FD said. Y'all Negroes shut up about whatever these women are saying and doing. It ain't that real, and it's definitely nothing compared to what y'all are doing to them. And well, beginning end. All right, so that's the end of Mr. Z stream. I'll be talking to y'all later. What y'all need to hear. And there you go, right? And there you go. So from the political, these are the same people that's wondering why so many men in general are voting to the right. That includes black men. And obviously it's still not majority, right? So we're just telling men, hey, just eat it. Huh? Your whatever women, black women. By the way, I hate how y'all do this weird walk with men and black men. Y'all use men and black men interchangeably. That is not the same thing, particularly with this country and this country's history. I really don't appreciate this little two-step thing y'all doing with using men and black men interchangeably. Because the black community is not a patriarchy, nor has it ever been. And all three of y'all should know better. All three of y'all, especially you, Alvin, with your smug ass face. All three of you should know better. Y'all playing a real dangerous game with the masses of black men's life while y'all kiss black women's ass. Right? Y'all, is this the damage control for everybody telling black men to shut up about the Rhoda Miss Brickface story? Everybody want to call please now? Because she weaponized all of your concepts of intersectionality against black men? Carly Russell, everyone? Juicy Smoothie everyone, BLM everyone, women are going to continue to do that. LGBTQ black people are going to continue to do that. Black women are going to continue to do that because you told them, hey, what you say is real. What black men say is just a figment of their imagination. Huh? And in your comments is a litany of men, mainly black men, mainly younger black men saying, I don't know, y'all simped a little too hard here. And of course, the women are clapping it up. So hear you. Here's your new younger generation of Steve Harvey niggas. Huh? Less attractive Derek Jacksons. Huh? You imagine three black men telling black men, yeah. See, it is exactly what Z says, right? But flip the other way. When I say black women, you can't talk about aborting black male babies. You can't talk about the genocide of black men. You can't talk about eugenics on black males, black boys and black men, because you got your little feelings hurt and because somebody might have said you're dark and they don't find you attractive, or maybe even, oh my God, Z, you're about to say it, maybe even called you ugly. And what these men are saying is the way women, excuse me, the way black women are speaking online, the messed up things they're doing, them weaponizing, and this is what I really have to emphasize today. We are not just speaking about black women on social media speaking reckless to black men. We are saying that black women, there are certain black women that are weaponizing this racist, white, anti-black misandry system against black men. You heard right. Right? You heard right. Y'all are allowing racist, sexist, anti-black men, black women. Some of them, yes, even have black spouses, black male spouses. Y'all are allowing them to weaponize this racist white system against black men, and then y'all are turning around and telling black men, well, the problem is you want to uphold patriarchy. And I can't really take what you're saying seriously because with the finite resources, I have to direct my energy to what the women are saying. Even if they're going to play me and use me and probably put me and you as other black men in danger by weaponizing racism against black men. Huh? Y'all are okay with black women, academic black women, entertainers, content creators on social media, random black women on the internet. Y'all are perfectly okay with them weaponizing white supremacist narratives, ideas, all of it against black men. And this is not just rhetoric. This can get black men killed, imprisoned. Y'all watched as that why can't I ever remember this name? The woman that lied on that aspiring football player. The young black woman that lied on the aspiring football player and said he sexually assaulted her, and he spent years in prison, and then she admitted that she lied. So it's everything from disrespect of black male authority, which we witness with the young black female attorney speaking over her black male attorney husband to be disrespectful to the black male judge. So it goes everything from that all the way to making up a story about being hit in the face with a brick by a black man and other black men stood by and said and did nothing. Right? Thank you, y'all. And Travis Rudolph is the aspiring football player, and Juanita Gibbs is the name of the young lady that lied on him and caused him to serve prison time. Thank you. Right? All of this comes from the idea that intersectionality informs us that black plus woman plus LGBTQ, black plus man and LGBTQ is more oppressed and endangered and than just being a straight black man. And there's no way that black plus woman plus LGBTQ, black plus man plus LGBTQ, there's no way, because remember, intersectionality informs us that they're the most marginalized. There's no way that they can weaponize the racist mechanisms of this society against straight black men. The issue that straight black men have is that you're attempting to uphold a patriarchal, misogynist system, and you don't have any legitimate, real critiques of women and their behavior, and their sexism, and their homophobia. Absolutely not. You don't have any legitimate critiques. You don't have any legitimate critiques of women, black women's hypocrisy, that they want patriarchy and feminism at the same time. They want their negative liberty subsidized by you as a straight black man. You don't have any legitimate critiques about that. You have real feminists that are telling you, yeah, when we tell women what egalitarianism really look like, they jump off the train. That's not what they're talking about. That's not what they want. You got black women saying it, you got white women saying it. But these three men are like, no, we don't know what you're talking about. I'm not going to entertain it, not for 1 minute. No, that's a different story. That's a different story, right? And no, I'm speaking. This is years ago. We're talking about a different story. And yeah, because this, yeah. I'm gonna address that in a minute. Give me a second, Trill. Unless, okay, maybe Mr. Z is confused, but I'm gonna address that in a minute. Let me keep continue on the train of thought for a second. You know, I listened to this, and shout out to the brother that sent this to me. I listened to this. First, you have the trans white dude who said at one point he could admit that it was the white woman that accused the whole situation with Jonathan Majors. He said he saw it as a woman thing. She was weaponizing her white femininity against him. And then you imagine three black men saying, yeah, but the whiteness is the thing. You imagine, let me say this again. Imagine three black men kind of low-key caping for a white woman who weaponized that damsel in distress white femininity against a black man. Kind of minimizing the fact that that's what she because white men can't weaponize damsel in distress. They weaponize straight power. They can't play damsel in distress in this society because we all know that they play the power position. The group of people that can weaponize damsel in distress are women. In this case, white women, because white women is pure. I agree with them on that. Here's the thing. Y'all refuse to admit that black women get to weaponize women against black straight men. Against black men in general, but specifically black straight men. You see this when Funky Deneva, yes, the gay cross-dressing black man, dark-skinned black man, tells you he's their homegirl. I'm talking about black women. He's their homegirl until they get in an argument. And then he can see them, and he's saying it in different words, and then he sees them weaponize his quote-unquote manhood against him. So when there's an argument or a disagreement, he watches his same quote-unquote homegirls all of a sudden not as threatened by him. Huh? We watch as these people tie themselves into pretzels instead of admitting women's hypocrisy in this system. And now they're doing and it's not just now, they've been doing it for a while, saying, well, upholding patriarchy isn't just a man thing, all genders try to uphold patriarchy. Could y'all admit that the women are hypocrites? Say it in the words that people really can grapple with, really can deal with. Say it in a way that the layman can understand. The women are hypocrites. They want patriarchy and feminism on an on and off switch. They don't actually want to get rid of paymaster husband, paymaster boyfriends, sugar daddies. And that goes from, I want to be very clear and specific when Mr. Z says this, that goes from the sisters working at Walmart and McDonald's all the way to the black women working in the C-suite. All the ones that's part of the board members. All the way up to the CFOs and CEOs. Stop acting dumb. I'm watching 3 black men be so obtuse. I'm watching 3 black men act like they're not black. This is the same thing, FD. And then y'all wonder, and not what y'all gonna try to shame all the men that's starting to vote to the right? All the black men? Huh? The passport bros? You want to know why there's a passport bros? You want to know why there's a SYSBM? We let y'all talk and then you can see why. Minimizing and marginalizing, I didn't say men or just men in general usually, or white men. No, black men. Black men and black men's concerns. And what black men are saying. Right? Black men and black men's concerns and what black men are saying. And not from a place of, let me see how I can harm and hurt and destroy a black woman today. How can I hurt a black woman's feelings today? How can I assault a black woman today? How can I use my patriarchal power that black men have? When did this happen? How can I use my patriarchal power and influence to lord over a black woman today? What are y'all smoking on? Man, y'all just tell black women to go end up with white dudes and go eat vagina. There we go. Solution. Go end up with white dudes and talk about running from the patriarchy into the patriarchy. Go end up with, excuse me, I still said that wrong. Talk about running from the non-existent patriarchy to the patriarchy. Go end up with white dudes and non-black men, or go eat some vagina. Because we're going to intellectualize black women's misandry towards black men, and then minimize it and marginalize what black men are saying. As you what, man, y'all put this video out after Rhoda, Miss Brickface, weaponized all of your ideas and your theories against you. Y'all should have just told straight black men, shut up. Yeah, the women are going to use this against you occasionally, all the time. And see, if you would just let go of that patriarchy so that the women that are looking for that could end up with the white dudes that have the patriarchy, then everything would be okay. Huh? Let go of your patriarchal aspirations. Right? Dear black men, let go of your patriarchal aspirations. You're never going to be a real patriarch anyway, number one. Number two, right? This is y'all hear Mr. Z ranting, but it was really disappointing watching. And I watched Eddie kind of play the bad cop on that channel, quote unquote, the bad cop, and attempt to kind of say like, hey, there may be something here. And you watch Alvin pretty much dismiss it and be like, yeah, nope. Right? Nothing to see here. Wow. Nothing to see here. The man told you straight up. Let's play this again. Let me hurry up and play this before this light turn green. So y'all could, for those of you that just got in, so y'all could hear this yourselves. Right? Let's play this again from Alvin. Actually, wait a minute. Wait a minute, because that's an old Paris Milan clip. Let's play this again. Let's see, is it there? Yes, here we go. All right.
Person will go racism. However, to your point, Josh, I do think there are prejudices against men. I don't think those prejudices are something that I want to give too much time to, because if I'm devoting finite resources on how we solve certain things, that's very far down the list of, that's like 200th on the list of problems that I need to solve in the world. But maybe I got you. Yeah, but I do think that what you're saying at its core is correct. But I think that a lot of people try to think of it as an equal and opposite reaction to what women experience, and that's just not massage. Yeah.
You know, for a community where the violence is largely bidirectional, y'all really do a whole lot of caping for them. Oops. For a community where the women are abusing the kids, y'all do a whole lot of caping for them. Oops. For a community where when the women are in same-sex loving relationships, they over here murking each other and decking each other in the face. Y'all do a whole lot of contextualizing and reframing and finding nuanced ways of speaking about this, right? Y'all do a whole lot of caping, right? Huh. It's a lot of figment of your imagination going on. And Alvin just said it straight up, man. I ain't even entertaining what y'all saying, black men. Right? I love it. Alvin pretty much said, I'm not even entertaining what y'all talking about. Train tracks, train tracks, train tracks. Right? And by the way, y'all remember, these are the people that end up being professors and adjunct professors and professors' assistants. These are the people that are the supposed tastemakers and thinkers and pretty much technocrats of the black community. Shout out to all you black women who keep on bolstering people like this, and then you come out here in this real world and you get your head taken off by men that don't think they're the worst thing on the planet. Right? That men that are not going to apologize for being born with a penis. They don't think their role in life is to grovel at your feet, apologizing for being born XY chromosome. No? Keep on dismissing what young black men are speaking about. Because you've convinced yourself that what they really want is to be white men, and you're watching white women Freudian slip, watching black women throw a temper tantrum for not being upper middle class white women. Huh? Keep intellectualizing black women's black misandry. As the black community becomes more disjointed and disconnected, and black men slowly start to suffocate the Democratic Party. And what are black women going to get from the Democratic Party when they no longer can corral black men and black men's votes? Oops. Have fun with that. I told you, your indifference, black men. Right? Your indifference. You want to know, if you want to know, outside of the money, why so many black men aren't attempting to, and men in general, but in this case, black men, aren't attempting to enter into college and university? Who wants to be in a college setting on a university campus and the professor's assistant is teaching you this. The professor is talking to you like this. No? A black man. You're talking to 19, 20, 21, 22, 23-year old young black men who might have not even had sex yet. Maybe who might not even have dated a girl or kissed a girl yet. And you talking to them like this. You want to be a patriarch. Everything you saying is not real. What the women are saying is real. I'm not going to devote no energy to talk about what you talking about. You imagine? I'm so sorry to you Gen Z men. I keep on saying it. My apologies that us millennials, those of us that are wayward and got our tongue surgically attached to black women's a-hole, and I don't mean that literally, even though, whatever. Talking about figuratively. My apologies that these are the men that continue to be your quote-unquote representation. Xer and millennial black men that sound like this about young black men. Right? This is frightening that this is what the representation of cultured, intelligent, well-meaning, ally black men, this is what it sounds like. Black men that are allies of black women and that understand how much black men have harmed black women. And how black men are aspiring to be white patriarchs. And understand the damage that masculinity and manhood and patriarchy has done to black women. This is what cultured, intelligent, self-aware black men sound like. This is what educated black men are supposed to sound like. This is on the opposite end of the black manosphere. This is what not sexist black men sound like. So everything but this is sexist. Right? Everything, if you don't sound like Alvin, if you don't sound like Josh, if you don't sound like Eddie, then you're a sexist black man. You're an aspiring patriarch. You're a misogynist. You're a misogynoirist. If you don't sound like Eddie, Josh, or Alvin. And you want to keep black women barefoot and pregnant while you destroy their self-esteem by making them feel less than because they're women, and God forbid they're dark with 4C curls. And this is what passes for quote-unquote critiquing black male behavior, right? Black men's aspirations, black men, and why we do the things we do. This is what counts for a positive and good critique. If you go through the comments, you're going to see so many black women clapping it up for them. So imagine this, y'all. You have Madison Brown putting out her swirl video. You have Waving the Red Flag putting out this video, all in the midst of the Road to Brickface story. Sorry, not Brickface, Brickface story. So there's what black men are witnessing and seeing, and there's where your intellectuals and video essayists, what they're saying. Shout out to FD Signifier, right? Your video essayists are telling you you're a sexist, misogynist pig. And screw your feelings, screw what you see, screw what you experience, because black women's experiences are the real thing if it even happened for real. Exhibit A, Rhoda. Exhibit B, Carly Russell. Huh? Talk about screwing with someone's mind and gaslighting. Talk about gaslighting language. Black men, what you see, you don't see. Y'all must think y'all Jedis. You didn't just see that. You're the sexist. You're the misogynist. You're the misogynoirist. Now walk away and beat yourself up for even considering that your feelings, your thoughts in what you just saw is what you just saw. Obi-Wan Canegros over here thinking they Jedis. And they're okay with insulting your intelligence. Dear black men, these people are perfectly okay with insulting your intelligence, minimizing and marginalizing what you're saying and your experiences. You better believe it. Right? Oh man, my apologies, Gen Z black men. You get told you're a man interchangeable, because when we hear man, let's be honest, we hear white men. Everybody know what that means in America, specifically America, really on the planet. And so black women telling you will never amount to what white men have accomplished on this planet, the rape, pillage, conquering, destroying, right? On one end, you're not a man. On the other end, when it suits them, you are a man, just like white men. You're just failed white men. Now, never mind that the black race in America has been considered a feminine race or a childlike race up until about the 1970s. Never mind that. We're going to start the clock in 1980 and black men in patriarchy. What? Never mind everything that has transpired, I don't know, for like 3-4 centuries. Never mind any of that. We're going to start the clock at 1980, and black men are patriarchs. Failed patriarchs, because they're not white, and black women don't get from black men's, I don't know who we great pillage and conquer. I guess black women are going to say it's them. But black women don't get from black men's abuse what white women get from white men's abuse. At least white women get to be part of the top of the hierarchy, and they get to be the beauty standard, and they get all of that for white men's transgressions on this planet. Black women don't get anything except for disloyal, a-hole, sexist, misogynoirist black men. If you let them tell it. Huh? And better uses, and thank you for the super chat. Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. It was maddening to see them display anti-black misandry while denying minimizing misandry and men's issues. Even the T checked them a couple times. Yep. Hey man, boy, hey. Whew. When you have an ideology that's as strong as religion, nobody could tell you different. Nobody could show you different. Alvin came out the gate and told you, yeah, what y'all talking about don't mean nothing. It ain't real. I'm not even going to expend any energy on even entertaining what y'all talking about. He told y'all that out the gate. What else y'all need to know? FD Signifier told y'all that on the MISM video. Yeah, what the women are talking about, it's real. Huh? Kim Foster told y'all on a Twitter tweet that it's not the same when black women date out. Madison Brown is in her mid or early 20s telling you about black women's loyalty to black men. Oh my God, Xer, millennial and Gen Z men talk about a mind F. Talk about gaslighting. Oh my God. This is frightening. Rhoda happened, and these dudes drop a video pretty much telling you, yeah, whatever. Shut up, it ain't real. Figure your imagination. I ain't even gonna entertain it. Olay and her crew said, apologize for what? We didn't say should black women, right? Their Lathan said, should Rhoda have to apologize? And they said, apologize for what? Not even all black women, not even the black women that were beating black men over the head in real life and on social media with this crap. Right? They said, Rhoda, should she have to apologize to the community and to black men? And they said, apologize for what? Oh my God. Right? So yeah, it's maddening, better you. Absolutely. And Indigo Flow says this intersectionality crap gotta go. Man, does it? Does it? Right? These people are playing in our faces. They stay playing in our faces. But that's okay because they have a side that they have allied with and they have their allegiance to, and everything else is just crap. Alvin said, yeah, there might be something there, but I'm not even going to entertain it. After someone tells you that, what is there to say? There's no more. What Willie D say? No more talk. What's there to say? Yeah, I see that there might be something here to consider, but I won't even entertain it. Translation: Tiffany Cross, get a line behind black women. These people, there's no way. Okay, so they're with FD. They're pretty much saying the black community is a matriarchy. You Negroes just get in line. I'm directing this to y'all. Grow a pair and admit to black men the black community is a matriarchy, and y'all Negroes just doing too much. Get in line. Because that's the only thing we're missing now is for y'all to tell the mappers the black manosphere know that the black community is a matriarchy. Y'all just refuse to say it to all the other brothers. I didn't say men. I said black men. Tell black men the black community is a matriarchy, and y'all just doing too much. Pay these O's, kiss their ass, placate them, right? And that's your role, to get behind whatever the hell they're doing, because clearly black male leadership is toxic and sexist and misogynoirous, right? And it's ego filled and et cetera, et cetera. Ooh, talk about frightening, right? Talk about frightening. So if you want to know what misandry looks like, well, here you go. So you have the institution, you have black women weaponizing the institutions of anti-blackness against black men. And you have Raven the Red Flag attempting to contextualize that, attempting to reframe it, attempting to tell you that what you're experiencing, what you're seeing is non-existent. It's a figment of your imagination. It's a mirage. You have Madison Brown attempting to contextualize black women pining and begging for white men's attention. And then she puts out a little disclaimer at the end for a couple minutes saying, don't go chase after white men, too late. So what we're saying now is if black women just continue to frame their misbehavior as being the victims of black men's attempt at white patriarchy, then they could do this forever. For any black man that finds himself in a relationship with a black woman, or with any woman, if we're going to be honest, because if you're not with a black woman, then they're going to tell you, well, you should have knew better. Ain't that what they telling Jonathan Majors? So if you're with a black woman, she could weaponize the white supremacist society against you. If you're with a non-black woman, she could do the same thing, but they're going to tell you should have knew better. You should have been at home with a black woman who would have done the same thing. Welp. And the wife school ask, "Ooh, look at Mr. Z getting it right the first time." The wife school ask, "Oh, and the second time, Mr. Z, who gives the matriarchy its power? The power, is it the Sims sisterhood or both? It's white supremacy. The Sims and the sisterhood come later." Giggity, right? It's the anti-black society. It's white feminists experimenting in the black community, right? Like we're lab mice. It's white. It's the white society. That's why they continue to give the money to the women, right? Not to mention all the black women that go around the planet saying that they are the backbone of the black community, and all their simp ass black men that continue to say it. So if you're the backbone of the black community, then of course the money's going to go to the women, right? So it's black women that continue to tell society that black men are sexist and they're inept and they're incapable, right? And they're losers and they're failed white patriarchs. And you can't trust them with the money. You can't trust them with the position, because if you give them the money and the position, then they're going to rain hell on us, because all they've ever seen is toxic white masculinity. They don't know how to be real men without being toxic. So they're going to be white men without the power, some money, and whatever power they do have, they're going to flex it on black women. So give us the money, right? Give us the money, give us the education, educate us so we can turn around and speak about how black men are not on our level. Well, would you look at that? So we can turn around and talk about no struggle love. Sounds real patriarchal to me. Toya says Mouse Utopia arms. I'm saying. Right? So this is what cultured, self-aware, intelligent, understanding allies look like. So when black women say, you know, and when Bell Hooks said, everywhere I went, I was looking for love and I found patriarchy. What she's saying is she didn't run into an older version of Alvin. Right? So Eddie, Josh, and Alvin, definitely Alvin, are what once again, ally, loving, self-aware, understanding black man looks like, just defecating on other black men. Right? Intellectualizing black women's misandry towards black men, reframing it and contextualizing it. And there you go. That's what allyship looked like. And just because, and this is the thing, if y'all want to know what drives Mr. Z absolute bonkers, as long as black women can frame what they're doing and saying their misbehavior, that's an individual black woman and that's black women. As long as they can frame it as if they're responding to black men and black men's misbehavior, or they're the victim of a black man or a number of black men throughout their lives, as long as they could frame it like they're responding to patriarchy, they're responding to colorism, they're responding to misogynorism, they're responding to all, as long as an individual black woman or black women could just frame it like that, they can do whatever they want to black men. Talk however they want about black men, do whatever they want to black men, do whatever they want to an individual black man. And somewhere will be a Dr. Umar Johnson, a FD Signifier, a Professor Odie, a Josh, a Eddie, a Alvin, a Conscious Lee, a Foreign Man in a Foreign Land, a T1J. Somewhere in the black community will be a Steve Harvey, a Derek Jackson. Somewhere in the black community will be one of these guys. A Boyce Watkins, a Willie D. Somewhere in the black community will be one of these guys to recontextualize their bad behavior. And not only that, oh, we got to add on to that, and then shame all of you Negroes for saying anything about it. Huh? And then shame you when you end up with the Latina or the white woman and you said, yeah, it's just easier. Right? Oh boy. Right? Oh, and then turn around and praise the black woman that ends up with the white man because she ended up with him because you Negroes are inept. Right? She tried so hard with black men, don't you get it? She was open, but none of you would approach her because she's dark-skinned with 4C curl, and that has nothing to do with the fact that she's 250 pounds. Right? You know, the craziest thing in the world. Man, you know, I remember this. I can't believe I'm about to say this guy's name. And he kind of low-key danced on Kevin Samuel's grave when he passed away also. A Tom Likas clip from at least 2 decades ago. And that Tom Likas clip got to be at least 2 decades old. Tom Likas checked a black woman. G checked a white man, a white radio host, checked a black woman by saying, name me all the rich black guys that are with heavy white women or with heavy black women. I might be added extra to it because she tried to say, you know, like black women like heavier black women. Black men like heavy women. And he was like, yeah, then name the rich black men, especially the ones, and once again, I might be added extra to it, but the message was, if they like big black women so much, if they like big women so much, then why are the rich guys not with big women? Uh-oh. That's a white man that's far more honest about this than black women are. Are you serious? That's a shock jock. And clearly he don't want to be outshined by a black man because once again he kind of took jabs at Kevin Samuels when Kevin Samuels passed away. Wow. Huh. Right. So we're watching more and more as the lines get drawn and the sexist, misandrist black women, black male allies tell you to shut the hell up. And essentially that's what they're doing now. That's what this is, especially after the Rhoda story. That Rhoda story blew open in a way, and it just exposed so much of them just say it was just interesting, not even interesting, fascinating, right? Revealing, illuminating, right? We playing words with friends. Um, Watching these women and men contextualize not just Rhoda, but all the people that just continue to follow. Well, okay, so what if she lied? The way y'all responded. Okay. So what if she lied? It happens anyway. It happens every day. It happens every day. A black man hits a black woman upside the head with a brick for saying no to him every day. Oh my God. Huh. So this is where we are. I love that these men were so bold and blatant, right? And I think it's fascinating listening to. And by the way, could we stop this crap where when people disagree with you, you start to insult? Well, y'all didn't read the literature. The problem is you didn't read what I read. You didn't watch what I watched to make me call you a sexist and misogynist, right? If you would just consume what I consumed, you would understand how your mere existence is a problem. If you would just read what I read, you would realize that black women's sexism is not real sexism. Their misandry is not real misandry. Them weaponizing white ideas against black men is not what it is. You didn't see that. If you would just read and watch and consume what I read, watch, and consume, then you would understand that they're right to weaponize white supremacy against you. Right? Huh. And Big Kev says, and thank you for the super chat. Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. And Big Kev says, for more misandrous than misogynist, and oh yeah, for more misandrous than misogynist in the black community, Chad Khans, game acolytes, and far leftists lie and claim the opposite to claim their moral supremacy, but you know it's moral supremacy. And shout out to Big Kev, you know that's what it comes down to. Yeah, okay, maybe you experience what the women are experiencing, but it's not the same. Because they're black and they're women and they might be LGBTQ, the intersecting lines of oppression means that she goes through more than you, so when she talks, you gotta shut up. And you should defer to her. Because she's looking for justice and you're looking for power. She's looking for justice and you're looking to be a white man. She's seeking justice and you're seeking money in vain things and superficial things. She wants a man that loves her and cares for her and cherishes her. She wants a just system, and you're just looking for a pretty woman that gives you head and cooks and is barefooting pregnant. Huh. And when you believe in that framing of the dynamic between black men and black women in the black community, when you believe in that, it doesn't matter what a black woman does to a black man, and it doesn't matter what black women do to black men. It doesn't matter how black women might celebrate the death of a black man who never harmed them, Kobe Bryant, who didn't even speak negatively about them, Kobe Bryant, who didn't even critique them, Kobe Bryant. Just because he was married to a non-black woman, you don't care because it doesn't matter. Your belief matters more than black men's experiences. It matters more than the evidence. It matters more than the facts. Huh. Right. And so we watched three black men, black men, black men, black men. Right. We watched three black men pretty much say to black men, "Yeah, what you talking about ain't real. It's figment of your imagination. Shut up. Get in line behind black women." Right. Ain't that right, Alvin? What did you say again, sir? Let's hear that.
person will go racism. However, to your point, Josh, I do think there are prejudices against men. I don't think those prejudices are something that I want to give too much time to, because if I'm devoting finite resources on how we solve certain things, that's very far down the list of, that's like 200th on the list of problems that I need to solve in the world. But maybe I got you. Yeah, but I do think that what you're saying at its core is correct. But I think that a lot of people try to think of it as an equal and opposite reaction to what women experience, and that's just not misogyny.
Yep. Once again, y'all heard that. He's not gonna give no time to it, and we try to make it an equal and opposite. Sir, if you say men and women, maybe, possibly, you have a point. But we're not just talking about men and women. We're talking about black men and black women under this America system, right? Yeah. And because the black community was never patriarchy, what do you have to say now? Oh, I forgot your belief matters more. Yep. So let me be very clear what Mr. Z is saying. If we have a preponderance of black men and black women that believe this about black men, straight black men, then don't say nothing when these dudes go passport bros. Don't say anything when you see them dating out. Don't say anything if you see them in same-sex loving relationships. Don't say anything if you see them would rather have their own apartment with no woman in there. They go find them a woman to do whatever every once in a blue moon. Don't say anything if they 30-something years old, still living with their parents, maybe even could afford to move out, but why? Don't say anything. Don't say anything if they see a woman, black woman, on the side of the road with a flat tire to keep on going. Don't say anything if they watching a white dude harass, assault, maybe even sexually assault a black woman and they do nothing. Say nothing. Because the position y'all are putting black men in is be black women's ass kisser, be a second-class citizen in the black community, or be labeled a sexist misogynist. Right? Be labeled a colorist, texturist, featurist, anti-black woman, wannabe Ike Turner black man. So either you move about and talk about black men like Alvin did here, like we see FD Signifier speak, or get the scarlet letter of being called anti-black woman. Huh. And y'all put this out after Brickface, after Rhoda. So as Big Kev said, yeah, this is definitely a moral claim. Oh yeah, they going straight for it. And they don't care what y'all. I saw all the brothers in the comments. I saw y'all. But what did y'all think? I saw all the black men, black young men in the comments. And you saw black women clapping it up. Yeah, explain to black men that they're the issue and everything that they say is negative and sexist and wrong, and they're being informed by patriarchy, even though that's kind of what I want when it's time to get married. Oops. Keep on calling it assortative mating and equally yoked and finding someone on your level. No, it's good old fashioned patriarchy. Y'all keep on recontextualizing it and reframing it and try to give it a new name, right? No, women don't want egalitarianism when it's time to get married, when it's time to pay these bills, right? When it's time to get married to pay these bills, oh no. All of that sounds good in theory, right? So the one thing that radical feminists, same-sex loving radical feminists are right about is that as long as straight black women are having sex with black men or any man, you're gonna see the hypocrisy. Princella's right about that, right? The old school radical feminists from the 70s and 80s, they're right about that. But we don't talk about that. We don't speak about women's hypocrisy. We definitely, in the black community, we don't say anything about black women's hypocrisy. Absolutely nothing. You're watching Ebony K. Williams display it every time she opens her mouth. Huh? Y'all don't have anything to say. Y'all sound like Torrey. Shout out to Torrey. Trying to recontextualize and reframe what Ebony K. Williams is saying. And she told you straight up, no, I'm the one that's insecure. Uh-oh. Ain't none of y'all say anything about homegirl that was on daily wrap-up crew that said provide, protect, and shut up. None of y'all say anything about real talk with Yanni. I want to be a catwoman of leisure. And what's the incentive? Right? And once again, thank you for the super chat. Big Kev, thank you for the super chat. Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. Right? Huh. So we have a whole bunch of feminists in theory, and then it's time to be in a relationship and be married, and ooh, we feel a certain way that we earn more than our potential boyfriend. Not him. Notice what Mr. Z said. I didn't say he feels a certain way. You feel a certain way. Huh? Huh. The ladies are telling y'all what it is, both in and out of intimate relationships. But the Alvins and the Eddies and the Josh of the world, look, man, I done went to school for too long, and I done read some books, and I done watched some documentaries, and I done heard from some, feminist professors, and all the women that are around me, all the black women around me. I can't hear what you black men are talking about, even though I'm a black man. Don't forget what um the LGBTQ brother that Torain Walker interviewed. Don't forget what he said. He was talking so much crap about black men, even though he's a black man. And he had to, one day he came to a realization, wait a minute, I'm talking about me. Exactly. When you find yourselves in those environments, that tell you everything about black men is wrong. Half these women are chasing after white peen, for the patriarchy. Oops. They're gonna reframe it for y'all. Don't worry, Alvin. I know they're not gonna tell you. Oh no, I was looking for love, and these black men don't want dark skinned black women. And da, 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 da. I just happened to end up with white men, not Latinos, not Asians, but white men. Just like the Asian women, and the South Asian women, and the Latina women. Oops. Right? Huh. And Jake says, has anyone seen a black woman equivalent of the Central Park Five? I rest my case. You mean the Central Park Five that Bell Hooks condemned? Oops. Oh yeah, and according to Alvin and Josh and Eddie, Bell Hooks was part of the nicer group of black feminists. The nicer group of black feminists were condemning the Central Park Five. Uh-oh. We live in an anti-black male world when the supposed black feminists that's supposed to be looking out for all black people, so they say, are condemning the black young men, black boys at that time, really. Roro. And remember, she's supposed to be part of the nicer black feminists. The nicer black feminists are talking about ending up in relationships with white men because women take on the status of their men. And it would behoove black women to end up with white men because that would raise their stock in this society. That's what Bell Hooks said. Uh-oh. Remember Alvin, remember Josh, remember Eddie, y'all said that was the nicer black feminists. Whoopsie. Huh? The nicer black feminists told Gloria Steinem when Gloria Steinem said the greatest love she ever had was a white dude with no money. And she said, you keep that over there. You could keep him. Remember, feminist, you said. She's the nicer black feminist. Huh? Right after she finished saying, I was looking for love and everywhere I went, I found patriarchy. And everything in my house affirms me. Everything in my house loves me. I make sure that I surround myself with everything. And she's referencing books back to back to back. Same way y'all do it. Back to back, she's throwing a book in your face. Back to back, she's throwing a book in Gloria Steinem's face. She's throwing a book in the audience. I read this, and I was reading that, and I was reading this. Remember, that's the nicer black feminists, everyone. The nicer black feminists told the white feminists, you keep that white man with no money, you keep him over there. Remember, everyone, feminism. Uh-oh. Huh? So everywhere you went, you were looking for love and you found patriarchy. A few moments later, oh yeah, you keep him over there. To the white dude with no money. So God forbid what you think about black men with no money. In a white supremacist patriarchal capitalist system. Uh-oh. Right? And Jake says, I haven't seen a Darren Seals fund or an empowerment program for BLM. Darren Seals wasn't the type of person that was supposed to lead BLM and be the face of BLM. They messed up. They messed up that they let Chris Smalls get as far as he got. We can't have a world with Chris Smalls and Darren Seals and we can't have a world where black men talking like that. Cat Williams and Darren Seals and Chris Smalls, and absolutely not. Sounds like black men are trying to create their own, shout out to the Raj Report, Shout out to Perfect Timing. Cool Table. Shout out to the nameless protagonist. Sounds like black men are trying to create their own inner circle. What? No, 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 no. This one is going to be found in a car burnt up. Oops. This one we're going to say is on drugs. Yikes. This one we let get away. Goddamn. But then as he unionizes different warehouses, we're going to say, are we sure he should be the leader, though? I mean, he's good enough to get these places unionized, but should he be the leader, though? Huh? Where's Steve Harvey to tell these people that the problem is they try to get 8 hours of sleep? Huh? Thank you. Their own in-group. Black men trying to create their own in-group. Oh, no, we can't have that. Where's Tiffany Cross to tell these black men to get in line next to behind black women? Huh? Where's Ebony K. Williams to call these black men mediocre? Where's Bowser? Where's Bowser to call these black men, especially the ones in the black manosphere, useless? Her real words, y'all. I'm not making that up. Where's Real Talk with Yeti to say, what's the incentive? I want to be a kept woman of leisure. When only 10% of men, give or take, earn $100,000 a year or more. I said men. I didn't say black men. And the median household income is $74,000 a year. Huh? Where's Chrissy to mock and make fun of black women that are in 50-50 relationships? Huh. Wow. And Ezreal says SKC just put out a video showing how BLM had over $100 million in donations, but are now filing bankruptcy as they are $9 million deficit. Are in $9 million deficit. I'd bet 100 that none of it went to programs benefiting black men. Absolutely, black men or boys. I agree with you. Because even in their own internal memo that got leaked, I'm not talking about the mission statement. That's the one everybody speaks. I'm talking about the internal memo that essentially said, when these men come in, sideline them and get them to focus on more marginalized people within the black community. I'm not talking about the mission statement. The memo said that. So I agree with you, Ezreal. Absolutely. But don't worry about it. 3 queer black women. Remember moral high ground. Remember, these are your supposed Marxist, anti-capitalist, anti-imperialist, anti-systems of oppression, anti-hierarchies of oppression. Remember, these are your queer Marxist feminists. They would never like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. Huh? Huh. The question then becomes, are you truly anti-systems of oppression, or are you just trying to flip the power structure upside down? Uh-oh. Are you truly anti-systems of oppression, or are you trying to flip the power system upside down so that you could end up with the white men? You know the real patriarchs? Whoopsie, right? And Detroit says, shout out to Candace Owens. Oh, damn, right? And we're watching Alvin and Josh and Eddie, particularly Alvin, play dumb. So as I'm saying right now, I think all those brothers are in their 30s. So let's just let time keep on going by, and we'll see. We will see where this type of rhetoric gets us in the next 20 to 30 years. Let's see. And these are, mind you, these people's female cohorts are turning around chastising men for not wanting to go to college. Why would any, but Mr. Z does, I actually do want to finish school, many of y'all know, but I have a mission. But for all the other men, why would any man want to attend, why would any man be caught dead on a university campus when they're going to be hearing this from the men? You imagine what you're hearing from the women? This is the men. This is black men. Imagine being a straight man, a straight black man, maybe one of your urbanized white dudes, urbanized Latino dudes, and black men on college campuses are sounding like this. Straight black men on college campuses are sounding like this. You imagine what the women sound like? And Joe says, I want them to say it, even though we already know, I think you meant to say, and we already know how they pontificate and try to justify. We already know. Right? Man, that's frightening. So these are the black men that are supposedly black women's allies. They're self-aware, they're intelligent, they're educated, they're well-spoken, they know how to grapple with complex concepts. They don't take it personal when women say burn the cape. They don't take it personal when a woman like Kim Foster says, oh, we're not going to protest for no black men's lives. They don't take none of that because they understand. Isn't that what Josh was saying when Alvin was speaking? Huh? So, dear black men, for you to show, dear black men, specifically black men in the black manosphere, for you to show black women that you're an ally, you have to come off insulting, dismissive, and smug to other black men and their concerns, namely their concerns regarding black women or a black woman and her behavior. If you don't sound like Willie D, if you don't sound like Alvin, if you don't sound like T1J, if you don't sound, because notice I didn't even mention FD. FD's still too nice to us. That's what they would say. Isn't that what Themis said? He's too understanding. You need to sound like foreign man in a foreign land and make fun of black men, and particularly black men in the black manosphere, calling this all type of nig cells. You gotta be smug and dismissive like Alvin. You gotta be dismissive like T1J. Huh? You gotta mock us and throw books in our face every 5 seconds like Professor Odie. You gotta mock us, make fun of us, and give a half-ass apology like Conscious Lee. That's how you show black women that you're their ally. Right? If you're not doing that, then do you really care about black people, namely black women and girls? If you're not mocking and insulting black men and their concerns and black women's sexism and black women putting black men in harm's way and in danger with lies, with exaggerations, with playing damsel in distress in front of white folks all across academia and in the media. If you're not doing that, try to recontextualize and reframe that, right? Do you even lift, bro? Do you even care about black women? Right? And Kev C, thank you for the super chat. And Kev C says, a big problem are the lost black men who co-sign negative behavior. I was sure that all black men would not be okay with foolery. I was wrong. Look, Kev, man, I would like to go back to, like I said, the LGBTQ brother that Torin Walker interviewed. What was that, last year or even maybe the year before? That might have even been 2022. 2022, maybe 2023, early 2023. Torin Walker interviewed, and he said it. He was on this kick too. And I want to say Dr. Green Gorilla interviewed a LGBTQ brother once, some years ago, maybe 2019, 2018. Was it Dr. Green Gorilla or was it Dr. T. Hassan Johnson? One of the PhDs interviewed another LGBTQ brother, and I want to say he was a professor also, and he said similar. Right? So yeah, like, look, these black men, some of them are pretending. Let's call a thing a thing. Some of them aren't pretending. They know what it is. They just chose their side. Should there be sides in the black community? No. Are there sides in the black community? Yes. Some black men actually think black women, like, think about it. Let's go back. You're raised by a single mom. Maybe you're not, but let's say you're raised by a single mom, and all she ever do is complain about black men. All she ever do is talk about black men failing her. Her black male boss is mean, or her black co-worker, that's a man, is inept. He's incapable. He's a dummy, right? Your ex stepdad treated your black mom horribly, or at least she says, right? So she already prepped you to view black men a certain way. Then you hear black men bantering in the barbershop, talking about black women and their body and how they feel about them. So you have already been primed and prepped to see that as toxic. Okay, on top of that, your aunts and your girl cousins talking about black men all type of reckless, right? Now, regardless if you're gay or not, this is having an effect on the way you see black men. Then you're on a college campus, university campus, and then the feminists start to frame this for you, right? And they start to give you the language and the words to use to intellectualize black women's misandry and your own mother's anti-black male misandry. Let's say you didn't have the greatest relationship with your biological father or your older brother. You've been primed by, and then look, bro, y'all know, any one of y'all that have girl cousins that you were close to, or a sister, younger, older, definitely younger, that you were close to, y'all already know how girls and women frame it. They're always the victim in relationship to boys and men. Always. You gotta catch them super red, man. You gotta catch their fist on the brother's face. And then even then somebody gonna try to recontextualize it. So you imagine you growing up in that type of environment, and it ain't nothing. And the girls and the women on your college campus, black women in particular, they know they're always the victim. They're always the victim of a date gone wrong. They're always the victim of a situationship gone wrong. They're always the victim of black men all the time, of an inept boyfriend, a boyfriend that drove the car, brought it with no gas, a boyfriend that don't clean up after himself. right? They were being catcalled on the way to school, and a black man flipped them off in traffic driving to school, and right? And Jake says, foreign man, don't talk like that offline around 80 or else he would get dropped. I don't know. Foreign man is a gym junkie. Right. Y'all gotta have that hit that brother with a car. Right. And he know better. Bro, look, man. I have Bahamian family. Like, foreign man in a foreign land, he know what it is. Him especially, when he said Nick Cell, I'm like, bro, you know better. You're Caribbean and you're Bahamian on top of it. You know better. Right? Jeez. And Indigo says, one of my girl cousins recently split with her um, boyfriend, baby daddy. She said to me, quote unquote, listen to this. I'm finally free from my oppressor. One of the last times I saw him, he had a black eye. Her, not a scratch. Wow. Yeah. Yeah. And once again, thank you for the super chat, Kev C. Thank you for the super chat. Of course. And there's somewhere is someone that's going to contextualize that, reframe that, try to explain it away. That's what we are. Wow. So like I said, I look at these things, I listen to these people speak, and it's frightening watching three black men, from my understanding, straight black men, um, speak like this. So, black men, it's you and a handful of black women, a handful. Because on the other side are black women, um, black LGBTQ folks, namely black LGBTQ black men, and then straight black men, and all of them are pointing at you and telling you the problem. Your sexism, your colorism, your featureism, your texturism, your misogynoirism, right? Your ineptness, your what do they call weaponizing incompetence, right? Then on the other side, continuing, uh, they not trying to be with you and your struggle of, and yeah, and they're not trying to look for potential, right? And you're immature, and yeah. But yes, absolutely. And Compassionate says they've actually dehumanized and characterized black men like actual white supremacists. Wow. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Right? So these people think black men are the only one being institutionalized. So they think when we say institutionalized, they think we're only speaking about prison. And I've said this a multiple times. Y'all heard me say this before. What do we call a really good college or university? In America, what do we call a really good college or university? A prestigious institution. A prestigious institution. Are black men the only one being institutionalized, black women? I would like to, y'all want to throw books in people's faces? I would like to direct you to The Miseducation of a Negro. A whole lot of y'all are coming back from these colleges and universities even more anti-black men than when y'all went in. That's black men and black women. Y'all are coming out even more misandrous than when y'all went in. But now y'all know how to use 4 and 5 syllable words to describe your misandry and to recontextualize your misandry and to reframe your misandry against black men. Meanwhile, we let the women talk for 2 seconds and they're comparing black men to white men. Oh, Z, you didn't finish that. Comparing black men to white men and deeming black men lacking. Remember, these are the same people that speak about black men aspiring for patriarchy, aspiring to be patriarchs, ending up with the patriarchs, or the white men that benefit from white patriarchy. Right? Huh. And better use is, have they read Solutions for Anti-Black Misandry, Flat Blackness, and Black Male Death? Have they read The Man Not? Nope and nope. But Kim Foster's Miss goddamn, I said her name. Kim Foster, well, there we go. Kim Foster, Miss Bowser herself. From my understanding, she did read some of, maybe all of Professor or Doctor, better yet, Dr. Richard Reeves' book of Boys and Men, and she still found a way to say, yeah, it's all on black men. Which, by the way, it's all on men. Sorry, she said it's all on men. Which, by the way, is the same thing Alvin and Josh and them were saying. Because you know where they get that from? It's one of the shirts that Bowser has, or one of the sweaters or the hoodies or shirts that she sells, where it's essentially, it's like, it's not black women's job to save you, right? And they really, the Democratic Party is genius on this. They really have bought into this idea. And like, you saw that with the young lady that had the yellow jacket that gave the poem, the speech during Biden's inauguration. They really have this idea that they are single-handedly saving America and their democracy. They're like, black women are they're being like slowly scooted into being the mascots for America, right? And like, we know what that ends up as being eventually. That's actually going to be like disastrous for them. But you're watching them celebrate being kind of like slowly walked into that position. It's not like they don't want to be there, but they're slowly being walked into that position. And they see it as a compliment. Right? Like, they talk all this anti-imperialist, anti-patriarchy, anti-systems of oppression. But then you watch them embrace the idea that they are pretty much saving the democracy. By what? Voting for one party? Okay, fine. And then forcing Biden to pick Kamala Harris as his VP? A woman that didn't even make it out of the primary? Wait, sorry, Z. Didn't even make it into the primary? A black woman that has shown, I don't care what y'all talk. Oh, for all you watch The View and they had Kamala up there. For all the people that say she's not presidential and yawn. And so y'all really embrace this idea that you are the ones saving America. You got Joe Scarborough encouraging and clapping it up. Joe Scarborough, y'all. Encouraging and clapping it up for black women. Remember, this was the same man that was going in on Snoop and them after the Gayle King debacle. I'm just saying. And then you got Rosenberg years ago, excuse me, on Hotline 7. Yes, I have that right. Hotline 7, right? So we're just watching these people once again, just like they want patriarchy and feminism on an on-off switch. They embrace they embrace the empire when they want. They embrace white patriarchs when they want. They embrace the compliments of white women that don't mean them well when they want. And we watch Eddie and we watch Alvin and Josh find ways to explain that away and tell us there's nothing here. Right? Pretty damn insulting, actually. Right? You want to say that one more again, Alvin? What did you say again? Y'all give me a second. Right? But this is what they're doing. Minimizing what you're saying, black men. Right? So for those of you that just came in, here we go.
Person will go racism. However, to your point, Josh, I do think there are prejudices against men. I don't think those prejudices are something that I want to give too much time to, because if I'm devoting finite resources on how we solve certain things, that's very far down the list of, that's like 200th on the list of problems that I need to solve in the world. But maybe I got you. Yeah, but I do think that what you're saying at its core is correct. But I think that a lot of people try to think of it as an equal and opposite reaction to what women experience, and that's just not misogyny. Yeah.
He said 200 on the list, and he told you it's not equal and opposite of what women are experiencing. So, in other words, shut up. We'll get to you sometime this millennia. All right. We will get to you sometime this millennia, but shut up. Move out the way if you're not going to assist us in liberating women, black women, to go tuck themselves under the scrotum of white men, the same white patriarchs we're trying to liberate them from. Whoopsie. Huh. He told you, yeah, there might be something there, but I ain't even going to entertain it. Right? And better you see what I'm saying? And you see the women in the comments are clapping it up for them. Especially Alvin. Alvin, come through, Alvin. Right? And better you says displaying misandry while denying its existence. Laughing my butt off. Can't make this ish up. Well, we just saw it. Right? Y'all like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. And Bruce Owen Wayne says, Z depose Connie Sans. Right? I know I said that wrong. Man. So yeah. So y'all give Mr. Z 1 second. Um and I will be having y'all come up in a minute. I'm gonna open the panel up in a second. But y'all talk amongst yourselves, right? And y'all give Mr. Z 1 minute. Let me go run in here real quick. And no, it's not Popeyes or it's actually not food, but yeah, y'all go ahead. And I am back. So let me see what is Eric saying. Thank you for the super chat, Eric, and once again, thank you for the super chat, Bruce on Wayne. And Eric says, "Okay, Z, I tried, man, I tried, but listening to those moist soy boys trying so hard to um trying to multiple syllable word us that misandry not real was infuriating. Look, excuse me. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. That like absolutely, but what did we expect? So it really is what we thought it was. I think for me, I think what I saw with Van Jones, shout out to Van Jones when he posed the question to the ladies about Rhoda not being punished by the government or local government or having to serve prison time or jail time or whatever. Um, should she have to apologize to black men, um, or should she have to apologize to the community for the way they were framing it, instigating a gender war online, and just instigating a gender war in the black community in general? And they said apologize for what? And I think when you hear that, I think for me that lets you know, like, okay, we are officially in F that, y'all are wrong, bow down territory. Now, is that going to really benefit black women as a whole? No. Do we understand some of the economic challenges of this society in this country? Excuse me. Absolutely. Do these people understand it? Probably not. Um, yeah. Oh, okay, 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 okay. And Bruce on Wayne says Z is Z. Excuse me. Z is dropping knowledge. Consans is knowledge. Okay, I'm gonna leave that highlighted for a couple minutes, right? Um, but yeah. So Eric, I mean, I listened to the whole thing. I was just as infuriated as you, but I and shout out to the brother who sent it to me. Shout yourself out in the comments. I'll highlight it. Um, excuse me. I don't know what happened. I made two steps and now I'm coughing. Anyway, it be happening. Um, I don't. Unfortunately, I'm not surprised. Y'all already know Mr. Z, right? Shout out to AB Media and PK Angel, who pretty much say like Z be torturing himself with this, right? Like masochistic behavior, right? Shout out to Charles Faulkner Jr. And yeah, right. So I'm not surprised. Um, a bit disappointed. I will give you that. Um, Eddie, attempted to, I guess, frame this in a way that didn't make black men the worst thing to ever happen on planet Earth. But yeah, the Josh and Alvin just weren't hearing it, right? He attempted also to, and what we won't have is ever them speaking about black women's misbehavior, right? Or black women using white supremacist tools to beat up on black men. So we'll just never have them speaking on that. So that's like not a thing. Um, but yeah, right. So on that note, right? Um, I get your frustration, Alvin. I listened to the whole thing. I said Alvin. Sorry, Eric. I called you Alvin. Oh boy. I get your frustration, Eric. I listened to the whole thing. I found Alvin to be the most egregious. I think the smug really is what took me. I've watched their channel a couple of times now, a few times actually. We working on more than 5 times actually. Um, and I just think like the smug, dismissive, and Alvin comes off smug just in general, to be honest with you. But just the dismissive tone, I think reads so. It's just so black woman how he did that, right? Like yeah, okay, whatever. Your little hurt feelings, okay, whatever, right? I'm not even gonna entertain it. Okay, maybe you have something, but right? And just, you know, it just watching him be so dismissive, once again, it just reeks of black men. You have like, what did Ebony K. Williams tell us? There will be no safe space, so there will be no comfortable place. There will be no soft space, right? Didn't she say so, Ebony K? And like it reeks of that. It reeks of that, right? And so on top of Dr. Prokop, um, what was it, Daniel Prokop Bell, Dr. Daniel Prokop Bell, and this conversation about pick me, it's like we are going after you now. So shout out to Bowser. I don't know who she calling, or finally people are getting wind of the black manosphere. Black women are getting wind of the black manosphere, and I guess not black men that don't occupy this space are getting wind of it. And like now it's like all hands on deck. We must destroy this because it's getting in the way, and we have an election coming up, right? So we gotta get them to, because like y'all gotta understand, like they're scared crapless um that too many black men will chip off of not voting for Biden or whoever the Democrat will be. They are hella afraid, right? Because like I said, it doesn't, dear black men in the black manosphere, it doesn't need to be all, it doesn't need to be most. It just needs to be a critical mass of black men that either stay home or vote in the opposite direction. And what they're afraid that what we are positing here will get in the way of whatever their agenda is, right? Whatever their agenda, we, they're afraid that we sound too conservative, we sound too misogynistic, we sound too misogynoirous, right? And it's really, I want to be very clear, they don't care what we're saying as much as you're not falling in line with what we need done here. And like, it's black women's job to keep y'all in line so that we could go through with our agenda that may or may not have anything to do with you. Doesn't have anything to do with you, except keeping you on the bottom, of course. Too many black men stay home or vote Republican, and it's a done deal. And you better believe there's going to be think piece after think piece, editorial after editorial, article after article, news segment after news segment, right? Talking about black men and their sexism and them voting to spite black women. First of all, not true. Secondly, and if they did, right? Let's say that again. First of all, not true. Secondly, even if it was true, so what? I think what black men should be start doing is literally the Yanny. And I want us to call it the real talk with Yanny. Simply pose to black women, especially during this election season, what's the incentive? Watch them talk about Trump and all this. Yeah, what's the incentive for black men? Then they're going to bring up themselves. Well, he's going to throw you in prison, and black men are already in prison. Huh? That's the question. What's the incentive? Maybe that should be a T-shirt for black men. What's the incentive 2024? Thank you, Better You. Better You says, you can't make me the villain when I'm already the villain. Right? And I think they've put themselves in a unenviable position. They boxed themselves into a corner. Pun not intended on that one. Too easy. They boxed themselves into a corner. Black women and The brothers like this box themselves into a corner. Y'all already talk crazy about black men. Y'all already chastise black men, belittle black men, insult black men, mock black men. So here go another 4 years of Trump. I'm not saying that he's going to win. I'm saying if he win, and some of it you can count black men in their indifference, right? On, well, so exactly. Indigo say critical mass. That's all we need. That's all we need. And y'all already heard when Mr. Z said, I'm not voting for neither one of these geriatrics. I'm voting down ballot. I don't know what I'm gonna write in ADOS or like no confidence or right. But I'm not voting president. I'm not voting for neither one of these guys. Right? Mr. Shook to you, I should put Dusty Z as president. Right? But yeah, so I'm kind of over the chastising black men um and intellectualizing um and minimizing black women's misbehavior and marginalizing black men, right? So, and that's what we have right now. That's all it is, right? So y'all give me a second, and yeah, link is in the comments, right? Eric killed me. He said, Z, okay, Z, I tried, man. I tried. Look, I know. It is infuriating. It is. Because you're watching black men, straight black men, from my understanding, who either know and are pretending that they don't understand, or they don't understand. And I don't know which one is worse, right? I don't know which one is worse. But yeah. Yeah, what's going on, Better? You go ahead. What's up with you?
What's going on, Z?
Man, watching us be told that our concerns are not real.
Um, I found it very interesting. It was a demonstration of individuals working backwards from a conclusion, and
Mm,
they at a in the beginning, it was kind of interesting because it was like Eddie was playing devil's advocate,
yep,
and he
yep,
was
yep.
saying like the way we're talking is a bit weird because we're jumping to our ideology to frame what's going on instead
Hmm.
of analyzing what's going on and trying to find the proper ideology to understand it, which kind of made me think, okay, is this going to be an actual even-handed video? And then it was like, no, no, Dre, no, not at all.
Nope.
So it was it was very maddening to have black men really dismiss wholesale and minimize the validity of the issues that men have. And I'm going to do my own reaction to this later, but the biggest thing that
I'll check it out.
irritated the fuck out of me
Hmm.
when we talk patriarchy, I know that each and every single one of those motherfuckers knows what the fuck a patriarch is. And it is not the definition too as in a man leading his household, but it
Hmm.
is when an in-group of men have created a system and a society which benefits their in-group to the detriment of everybody on the out-group.
Yep.
Racism is by definition patriarchal because it targets out-group men. And for black men who are at the brunt of that goddamn system, to act like they too goddamn stupid and inept and to do this little we gonna
Two
swap in
step.
black men
Yep.
with white men and all kind of shit
Yep.
and when it's
Yep.
convenient. It's like, no, that is intellectually disingenuous. We don't have to agree to have a discussion, but when you have a discussion on such slimy and despicable terms like that, that really that irks the fuck out of me.
It so the intellectual dishonesty that you're speaking to, I expected. I think I was still annoyed, and a bit disappointed that they were so disrespectful with it, right? And especially for Alvin, and Eddie. Like I've watched Eddie multiple times. I can see. I know he knows how to play with these concepts, and he knows what we're saying over here. He knows like the misandry. He's heard, and you hear Josh. Like what they're saying is essentially, yeah, your mothers and your aunts and your grandmas and your sisters and them. They say crazy stuff. Yeah, they might do crazy stuff, but that ain't that's not misandry. That ain't real, right? And it's like that's the thing is the dismissiveness of saying, okay, maybe you have a point, but I'll address it in a millennia. It's like Alvin said it. It's 200 on the list. I mean,
So
when you say that, what else do we need to hear? Yeah, go ahead.
the thing about it was, and the question that I really would pose back if I was on that panel with them,
Mhm.
okay, your solution is the exaltation of women as the key to breaking the patriarchy, which
Yeah.
I disagree. I think there's a very valid and good argument to be made that you need to strengthen your men, outgroup men to be have resources poured in them in challenging such systems. But you know, that aside, when you're exalting and pouring your resources into these women and they gain power, status, money, resources, and influence, and they hold such contemptuous views of the men of their community, how is it or what is it to stop them from abusing said power?
It's standpoint there. It's well because of her position in this society, because the way she thinks and the way she's been enculturated, she won't. It really is moralizing women to a next level, nth degree. Number one. Number two, they refuse to acknowledge that maybe I'm being nice with the maybe, but we know what it is. Women are being positioned to be the buffer class above working class men. So it'll be white men, elite white men, women of different backgrounds and whatever, and then working class men of different backgrounds, and then black men on the bottom. They refuse to acknowledge that like the particular Bowsers of the world and Ebonies of the world are being positioned, the Oprahs of the world, the Gail Kings of the world, they're being positioned, particularly in the black community, as not only the buffer class, but the Negro whisperers.
Exactly.
Yeah. Go ahead, whoever wants to talk.
Okay.
Mhm.
And I'll go ahead and I'll land with this one. Then I'll let Leon go because you already know where I'm about to go with this one.
Mhm.
But with all of that being said, the lens that they viewed women under was very much in line with the classical, weak, demure, incapable. The lens of women and
Wait a
femininity under
minute,
me.
Barry, you. That sounds like wait for it,
Mhm.
patriarchy.
Exactly.
All
And
right.
they use it and using that same lens to view these women and empower these women with. And that same patriarchy is the white supremacist structure and lens. And that's exactly what they fucking sound like.
Them boys
I'll
are
rest
She
my
can't
case.
harm you. She can't harm you. She can't do anything to you. All the most is that your feelings will get hurt. I didn't say she hurt your feelings. I didn't say that. The most that will happen to you is that your feelings will be hurt because something was said that offended you. I didn't say she said something that offended you. That's the most that will happen. But you, on the other hand, you tyrannical wannabe white patriarch, inept, incapable. I don't know how you're a wannabe white patriarch, but you're inept and incapable. Okay, whatever. You are essentially a terrorist in the black community. Wait a minute, didn't one of them say that about us one time in an article? Anyway, but yeah, that's what you are. But her, on the other hand, like I always say this, she's looking for justice and freedom and love and care, and you're looking for tyrannical power and patriarchy and to lord over someone because you're not a white man. So you gotta lord over someone, right? So to make yourself feel better about not being a white man. Yeah, that part.
And then you can't award me with what comes from patriarchy.
Right.
That's the last thing. You can't
Exactly.
reward me.
Exactly.
So I sent you, Dr. Thunder watched the clip. I try to articulate my question in a way that he was a high class priest that was on a show. So I sent him it was a live stream, lab chat or whatever. And I asked him about, he was talking about how, feminism and they're utilizing certain parts in the Bible to become priests or hold positions or whatever. And so I just asked him, I'm like, if y'all are paying attention to this and you understand that women are in the education system and your boys aren't going to college and they don't want these positions because they're not attractive jobs to have or duties to have.
Hmm.
And so he answered that first part of the question. And the second part of the question, I said, well, this takes place because black men kind of live in a gynocracy or, and we're forced to be egalitarian, even within our church. And he answered the question, right? But he got into, well, you look at how feminists use black women in the 60s, and basically it the structure that you're saying is what he agreed with without me actually asking that question. I sent you the clip. And
Okay. All right. Well.
what he said, what it put black men in is pretty much is living in a matriarchy. My question didn't have shit to do with matriarchy. He said it himself. I sent it
Yeah.
to your email.
Okay. Okay. I gotta check that. I'm gonna check that out. I'm gonna check it. I'm gonna check it.
So the structure that y'all say is what he said.
But that's what it is.
Yeah.
That's what Moynihan was saying. Like that, people that studied the black community know it. Even bro, Donovan messed around and said it on the grapevine one time, right? And like the women didn't say that he was wrong, right? The women didn't say that he was wrong. So like it's something that if you study the black community, it just makes sense. Especially when black people and non-black people are running around saying that black women are the backbone of the black community. Like that's matriarchy, y'all. That's gynocracy because that's what we say. But even for them, it's matriarchy. And y'all give me a second. Y'all go ahead.
Yeah, the white priest said matriarchy, and I told Dr. Thunder I tried to articulate my question properly for where he went with it on top of the church stuff. Yeah, he said matriarchy, and he brought up from the 60s. He brought up black books written about black people that they pushed to the side, and then weren't as popular. He knew what the fuck he was talking about. You say something, bruh. I just went on mute.
My bad, y'all. I don't know if it was no. My bad, y'all. I had to answer the phone call real quick. Y'all go ahead.
I can jump in.
Yeah. Whoever want to speak, go ahead.
All right, man. I think that it's a confirmation bias thing going on too in regards to we talk about information that or books and stuff that people are reading and stuff. I wanted to put that point out there, but I just think flat out these dudes are in the form of some type of I guess we could say and it's kind of tinfoil hat sounding, but like a mind control, like a way of looking at things that is like terribly skewed, and it's like a level of conformity in there where it's like when I was growing up in school and stuff like that, there would be like some dudes who like I won't necessarily say it was like simple forces or whatever like that because it was suckers, but like they were you know how can I say, be social proxies. That's the better way I can say it. They kind of like acting like social proxies against their own
Yes.
detriment.
It's called
But is it? I remember when you first said that. That's true. No, but is it to their own detriment though? Because think about it, like in a weird way, Josh gives me Robert Perkins vibes, right? Especially with the beard, right? So like, is it really to their own detriment? Because especially if you're educated, or if you have a certain look to yourself, or like, is it to your own, it might be to the detriment of the
Nah.
masses of black men. But if you're like talk about preferences, if you're a quote unquote preference, or if you have a certain class position within the black community, you may not have to deal with the consequences of your own rhetoric, right? Because your class position, or excuse me, you have the look, right? You're Tyrone, or any of that. So like, I hear what you're saying, and I think, excuse me, I think that applies to certain black men within the black community. I don't think that applies to Eddie or Josh. And depending on Alvin's class position and how educated he is and what he does for a living, it may not even apply to him as a chubby
I
brother. So like, I get what you're saying, but I'm just giving you something to think about.
yeah,
Or something
I
to
should
consider.
think. I should think more. I should think more about it, and I should actually like watch the video again. I only heard the clip, but it's
Mhm.
like what from what they said. That's my impression. Maybe
Yeah.
I should look into it more and form a better opinion, like a lot of people should do,
Yeah.
instead of just like just going about things. But like it's a level of ignorance when it comes to what it's forming like they're neglecting things. Now I don't think that it's intentional, but like for them to like go about and kind of like neglect what's in our face or whatever, like with the whole basically like the whole Jedi mind trick situation where it's
Yeah.
saying no, oh no, it's not, like that's
I think it's propaganda. I think I think it's just pure. They've been propagandized, and they're passing it on to tell us what you're speaking about is your issues in not being a white patriarch. Number one. Number two, even your issues. If we were to dismantle patriarchy, you would be okay because your issues stem from um patriarchy, right? It's
right.
just
And that
go.
and when you say propaganda, that fits way more I guess aligned with reality more than me
Mhm.
just saying mind control, because it sounds a little bit kooky. But it's like it's based off a basis or foundation of, I guess, misinformation or misdirection, whereas like there's nothing going on in the midst of everything going on. It's like that meme, everything is fine.
Yeah, right. While the house is burning behind them. But okay, so
Right.
I think they would agree with Better You and Better You's assessment,
Mhm.
but reframe it. It's exactly what Better You said, but they would reframe it to say, essentially, yes, you're suffering from not being a white patriarch, but you still get to participate in some of that simply because you're a man. It low key is like, you got to chop your balls off, your dick off, to like to be considered non-threatening enough, right? It low key is like, because you're watching them like grovel in their rhetoric, right? So it really is like reframing. Okay, yeah, I group male, and so in their mind, like, yes, if Better You is saying patriarchy comes from white, like, if patriarchy and white men and white society should be synonymous, I would agree with you, but you're still a man, so you still get to play with that a little bit, and then that harms black women. That's where they would go with it, right? Yeah, and that's a real issue. Go ahead.
Yeah, and to that point, at that point, this is where when I put the different things in the materials in the chat,
Mhm.
where Dr. Athena Matua's theory, you then have to look at the society and I don't know the trans individual's name that they had on, but they even brought it up. They mentioned where, hey, because black men are black, but their maleness incites a different level of aggression in the society, and they are met with a different reality than everybody else because of it.
Do you want to say who was the one that was really pushing that
In the discussion?
Yeah.
Oh, that was the white trans one that brought that up.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That is scary.
It made
A
no
British
sense to me.
trans man was making more sense, at least in this segment of the conversation, than the rest of the straight black men. Wow. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, and it was mind blowing when they did it, because it was like, am I in the Twilight Zone? Like, this is the person calling off the dogs?
Yeah.
You are.
But it's one of those things in which, as you go through different areas of society, and this is not a dismissal that, hey, you know, black women get discriminated against or anything like that, but it is to say that the discrimination that black men face is wholly unique to us because of our identity. And when you start to, I'll put it like this, the way a lot of people like Eddie and them apply intersectionality as if it's like a cake with layers. And I think the best way to kind of think of intersectionality is like mixing primary colors. Because as you mix certain things in, you lose certain other properties and gain others. So that struggle that you have, a black gay guy struggle and my struggle ain't the same struggle. A black trans person struggle, my struggle ain't the same struggle. And you know, as you mix these different things in, it changes where you stand, and it changes what you are and how you show up in society and how society perceives you. And with that change, means a change in the reaction to you.
You know what else it does?
Go ahead.
It separates us. You know what's that thing they say? It divides us.
Yes.
We take it. It's like the whole complexion. I hate the complexionism thing. It's so basic and superficial, and it's based on bullshit. So what we do, in reality, this intersectionality stuff, it doesn't work for it. It's a tool, but it's a tool that really doesn't help us in all, like the end game of it, because it divides people. It makes people the out group. It causes, what's the word I want to? It causes you just call separation, and that's never really a good thing. When the very thing we're trying to do is like unify or be at on one accord. But if we keep
they want to be the people, and this is going to what you're saying and to what Better you were saying. The women we're describing want to be the not just the leaders of the black community. They already see themselves as the petite bourgeoisie of the black community. I do see them as thinking that they should be the voice. They're the smartest people in the room. They're the thinkers, right? Number one, number two, and then going to what Better you was saying more specifically, that flies in the face of social dominance order, right? What you're posing. And like, that's a real issue for a group of people that have been steeped in intersectional feminism, right? What you're asking them to think about how this affects black men outside of black men's egos and aspiring to be white patriarchs. And they just it's both they refuse and I believe this as a religion, right? I believe this as practically a religion, and to have black men challenge and push back on the notion that being black plus man puts you in a unique position for white male oppression, and then there are black women who also use those tools to beat you over the head with, and it's not just insulting you. It's actually being a bank manager and denying you of a loan. It is actually, right? Y'all give me a second. Let Leon on. Yeah, it's actually being a teacher, and also and just like FD showed, being a black woman teacher and being super vigilant and hyper vigilant and watching on what the black boys do, right? What does that then mean when everyone can see you punishing the black boy over and over and over again, right?
the black boys are troublemaker, and we need to watch and stay away from them if we want to be good.
And we know that black boys are the ones that suffer at the hands of abusive parents, namely the mothers, the most. Like, you could talk all the crap about the black girls you want, but it's the black boys and men that are have the final death, like that, not just a social death, but the final death. Black men are suffering from social death and final death, and like we instead of us acknowledging that, and by the way, once again, at the hands of women, at the behest of women, right, and like black women, and the black community just refuses to acknowledge that there are black women. And like Rhoda just blew that up in everyone's faces. There are black women that are weaponizing your concepts and your ideas of black men being the worst thing that ever happened to the black community. There are black women that are going to use that against black men in everyone's face. And what are you going to do when that happens? When they get caught red-handed doing it, what we see is exactly what everybody did. Everybody cop please. Everyone beat up on black men even more. And there you go. So, like, I hear what Better Use is saying, and I agree with him. What I'm saying is, when you watch Eddie, Josh, and Alvin, like, minimize black men's plights as straight black men, that is, like, maddening. It is. Go ahead.
It's plausible deniability at its finest.
Wait, say that again?
So
It's plausible deniability at its finest.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Because once again, we also can't acknowledge that women want power too, and they want men with power. What I mean by that is, it's difficult to say that black men, are oppressing black women when you also acknowledge that black women are engaging in boss girl feminism. It's really difficult to make that claim, so they just deny it. They deny it. So, and that's what you see here. What you see here is, like, I don't see the difference in the way Alvin was speaking and the way Kim Foster would have spoke. Bowser would have said literally the same thing he said. So I don't really, what was the point of him even being there if he's literally saying the same thing Bowser would have said? Yeah. When you get a chance, John Jones, you definitely got to check it out so you can see what I'm saying.
Yeah, for sure. I'm definitely
Yeah.
have to, like I said, I don't speak it in ignorance, really.
And let me read this real quick. And Mr. Shuktiyu says 2024 year of the Dusty. United we stand. Hysterical. What's going on, Dr. Thunder? Dr. Thunder in the house. Let me see where I wanted to read this real quick, but Trell is killing me right now. And Trell says Calamitous Carl, who's the other one? Megalomaniac Melvin, hysterical. And Saint Cyr says Tyrannical Tyrone, hysterical. Y'all killing me. Oh man, yeah. We just it's. I think we're in a. This is a major crossroads. We come through these crossroads pretty often, actually. But this is a major crossroads because when this case blew up, I'm sticking to Rhoda because it's so egregious. It was so in everyone's faces. When this case blew up, and you watched people who were so adamant, right, about how messed up black men are, how sexist black men are, how terroristic black men are, just they were so adamant, and they put all of their chips on Rhoda. They put all of it. And when the story came out that she was lying, which we said already, and then you watch these people attempt to shame black men still. And then now waving the red flag after the story tell you essentially misandry is not a real thing. And they should hop back and forth between whether they're going to say man or black man. And they're low-key kind of using it interchangeably, high-key, right? It just proves to you that they really don't care what you're talking about, right? And these people might have, or at least maybe they feel like, they might have elevated themselves out of dealing with the brunt of what working class black men have to deal with. And so they can speak this way and have black women think this way because they're not going to be on the receiving end of black women's, sexism and misandry and, just insane rhetoric towards black men. But go ahead.
Could it be how they see it? I'm on the road. I'm going to San Antonio, but could it be the way that they see it, that the black women's pettiness or their anger gives them the ability to use the patriarchy against black men? So that's not actually misandry. It's just by way of the patriarchy. Could it be like an argument like that? If you get what I'm saying?
I don't think they would even make. I would, if they were even to acknowledge this insane snarkiness and rudeness and meanness. I think the way it would be framed is that's as a response to the environment. That's a response to the environment, to racist white folks, to inept, incapable black men, to sexist, colorist, featurist, texturist, misogynist black men. So if you were to even get them to acknowledge this kind of bad behavior and just ill will that comes from the masses of black women, to be honest, if you were to get these people, these brothers, to acknowledge that, then the response would probably be along the lines of, well, it's a response to the environment and to decades of sexism, not even decades, centuries of sexism, colorism, misogyny, directed towards black women, even especially coming from black men. Like that is what I think you would get from them, right? And y'all like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. Yeah, I think. What you think about that? Oh,
yeah, I get the response. Yeah. I get the response part, but I even have conversations with my mom about this because no woman's ever put their hands on me, but I have a history of defining why nobody puts their hands on me, and I tell women straight up, like, if you were to hit me, I would hit you back. It wouldn't be a second thought. I never been hit by a woman. I never been hit by any woman. Yeah. But when I talk to my mom, she says all these black guys crying about a woman hitting them or putting their hands on them. They sound like little kids, and nobody cares. And she's like, my mom was high rank in the military, so she had to deal with every situation. So she says these black guys come crying, oh, she did this, blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just like, but you're in a place where these guys aren't hitting their wives back. So you're kind of justifying the actions of cheating to get hit by a woman if they cheat or they do something she don't like. And she's like, well, guys back then used to beat women up and do blah, blah, blah.
And there we go.
Mom, that's the issue, though. We're not the guys back then.
Hey, can I step in and say something?
And that's one of my biggest issues. Okay, we're not the guys back then.
Give me a second, Kev. Go ahead.
We're not hitting you back. Maybe y'all behavior needs to change because we're not representing what those guys represented in this myth that y'all have about black men.
Let's tie this in a bow with that. What we have are men supposedly being dragged into being quote unquote likable, so just easy pawns for women. So men are being told that we have to hold on to all the things that women want from the past, which is the paymaster and a good dick and et cetera, but also be pliable and quote unquote likable and et cetera, while women also get to pick the parts of the past that they want to play, and this kind of modern iteration of femininity that says I get to practice negative liberty and I get to do what I want. So it's men that have, and the way they're saying, and I'm tying this to what your mom said, the way it's being framed is that men are the one that needs to change. And you actually heard that from this, right? Men are the one that needs to change. And you say that when you've heard so many women, namely black women, say that men now got to be likable. We make money now, so we can afford to fund ourselves. Most black women still can't. We can afford to fund ourselves. We can afford to pay for our own stuff. So now men don't just have to come in with a check. Now they got to be likable. So it's men that have to move and change. Women don't have to modify their behavior at all. Alexa, cue up all the videos and comments of women talking about not wanting struggle love, not gonna do struggle love, not building with anyone, not
My
doing
ex said that
potential,
dumb
all the
shit to
money.
me.
Yeah.
I hate it when she said that shit to me. I'm like, yo, do I look like I'm on the upward trajectory? Like I'm
By the way,
embarrassing.
it wouldn't even matter if you weren't. What is she
That
doing right
shit.
now with her life?
What she went to school for something she not even working in. She went to do some other thing and she does like I don't know.
Is she making
Um,
any real money right now?
she actually is, but it's like for me, it's like you're not even in your field, so it's like it's a little bit different. I think she what? I mean, she's touching 80K, so
Okay, that's not bad. That's
I
bad.
can say
Is she
that.
in
I
a
mean, she's not.
relationship though?
I don't know. I didn't really want to, man. I saw a picture
By
of
the
her
way,
the
that's
other
the
day.
best answer that you could have ever gave. By the way.
Yeah. So, no, I saw a picture of her. I saw something that confirmed my suspicions about her and stuff. Remember the
Hmm.
first time I came up here and talked about our relationship and how like
Hmm.
she wanted me to take her to like all these like fancy places to eat and all this other shit.
Hmm.
So I saw she took a picture of the restaurant on IG, and I just for some reason I wanted to go look at the restaurant. And you know, a restaurant's expensive when they don't post the prices.
Hmm.
So I kind of it showed me a lot that it made me think because I'm still speculating that
Hmm.
like it's like the lifestyle thing when you talk about feminism and then you talk about their goals stuff like that, it's a lifestyle. So it kind of confirmed what she was aiming for with our relationship was a lifestyle, and it was like it made me
Yeah,
think about
that's
like
all it is, and that's what Josh and Eddie and Alvin. That's the part. Like, whenever they have this conversation, I'm like, y'all are pretending like y'all don't know that these women want patriarchy, but feminist specifications. They still
It
want
is.
paymasters. They just want the paymasters to subsidize them and their concepts of negative liberty. Like I don't know why it's so difficult to just come to that conclusion and then move from there. Yup,
It is. It
and what?
is.
Yeah,
It
go
is
ahead.
the conclusion because, like I said, I made the joke before. If my woman didn't work, she'd be driving a Geo Metro or a
Hmm.
Kia Sorento or whatever the fuck them cars are called. At work,
Yeah.
and if we had three
W-
kids, we'd go to Chuck E. Cheese. So it is a lifestyle thing, but I don't like the way that women try to proactively alter the lifestyle based off their income. What I say is
Yeah.
simply, you want that nice SUV, you have the funds because I'm paying these bills. You can go buy that, but I'm not going to live above my means to meet some criteria. This is who I am. This is where I'm at. This is off my income. When your shit is the difference between that Kia and that Lexus truck or that Dodge truck. Pick one.
Mhm.
That's how
when I tell
that's how
y'all
I go about it.
Sounds like
when
struggle
I
love
tell
to
y'all
me,
me and
Leon.
my
Sounds like struggle love. No, I'm playing with you. Go ahead.
when I tell y'all me and my ex was talking about moving in at one time, and she was like looking at pays like 23, 2400. I'm like, yo, I'm not trying to move nowhere and pay more than what I'm paying right now. I'm supposed to be like paying less when I'm making we put everything together. Secondly, I'm like, are you thinking about what happens if you lose your job, if I lose my job temporarily, and how that will
Nope, absolutely
But
not.
that
Don't worry. You're not the only one having that conversation right now. That
but
hey,
that's the oh my
go
bad.
ahead.
the
That's the
issues just
point
being blocked?
because that's the point. You actually give women the power to do this type of shit when their income is involved in your ability to live. So
Mhm.
if you can afford $1,600 mortgage and you want to take her income because you're married and you don't get 2,300, right when she starts punching you in the face, not literally,
Mhm.
but when she starts mouthing out to you, you're interconnected to her income. You're fucked.
Yep.
You got to
Yeah.
participate in that type of shit, and that's what I mean. You can go get that Lexus with your money, but I'm gonna get you a Kia Accent. That's literally what I'm saying. So yes, I can
I get what
afford
Leon's saying. You
38.
might earn more, but if you put yourself hostage to her in any way, that's your ass.
That's
Yep.
your
Right.
ass. That's literally what I'm telling niggas.
Mhm.
And from that, I
This
learned, yo,
you did literally the right thing
Yeah.
by not taking that high ass rent in that place because her income would have been needed to provide for it, then she would
Yeah.
have more opinions. And I say, fuck that.
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
I'm a
And that's all it is. But
I'm a
let me let Big Kev go, y'all, because we cut him off earlier. Big Kev, go ahead.
Hey, what's up, y'all? Hey, yeah, about that video earlier. It's like,
Mhm.
and actually, I don't know if you saw the comment I posted, Mr. B. I said that there are far more misandrous than misogynists in the so-called "quote unquote" community.
I saw it. I saw it.
However, and it's the same thing I super chatted. However, again, the problem is that over the last few decades, both the neoliberals and the tradcons and the far leftists have all basically been overtly lying to our faces and claiming the opposite
Yep.
as a way of claiming like false moral supremacy. Because again, it's like y'all keep assuming that most men back in the day were women beaters. I'm sorry, but even back then, most men back in the day weren't women beaters. I mean, it was pretty much common knowledge that hey, yeah, you shouldn't put your hands on a woman. Again, it's just one of those things where it's how can I put it like this, right? Claiming that all men were women beaters back in the day is like saying all so-called black men were like grapists
Yep.
because of some like vulgar rap lyrics. You know what I mean? Like
Yep.
it's something that's so ridiculous. That's why they always want you to focus on all these like anecdotal stories because if you look at like the empirical evidence, I'm like most of that was not the case. Again, the
A
reason
lot
why
of those.
most of this so-called I'm saying the reason why most of this so-called black love stuff is going to fail and it's always going to fail it's not so much because two so-called black people being together is problematic. It's because it fundamentally most of the so-called black love arguments operate on two fundamental lies, and the two
Mm.
fundamental lies that it operates on is number one that the vast majority of so-called black men are these mouth-frothing misogynists that need to be quote unquote civilized. That's lie number
Yep.
one, and lie
Yeah.
number two is the narrative that um all so-called black women are like morally infallible or sweet and innocent victims that deserve to be put above and beyond criticism.
Yeah.
Those two lies,
Beyond reproach.
those
Yep.
yeah, those two lies are the reason why all this shit's gonna fail. No matter what they try to do is well, black people need each other, we need to go. That's the reason why most of this shit is always gonna fail because you most so-called black people between 18 and 45 have been indoctrinated with those lies via Oprah, Tyler Perry, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And most so-called black people between 18 and 45 can't let the lies go and realize that these are lies. So that's why that's why I just say, you know what I mean? Why all this anti-patriarchy stuff is nothing more than edgelord behavior.
Really.
Most of this save the community talk is edgelord behavior. Most of the so-called black love stuff is edgelord behavior because again, it's like in order to actually make some shit sick, you gotta let go of the lies you've been taught. The problem is that most people don't want to let go of the lies they've
Hey,
been
and
taught.
let's
So
call a thing a thing. Black women know that black men aren't these people. They do that shit to get crumbs flicked off the table about racist white folks, namely racist white feminists. They say these
So
things in academia. They say these things about black men because you have to walk into that group of people telling them what they already want to hear, and they want to hear black man, boogeyman, black man, bad man stories. Bro, it looked like, especially when you saw shout out to Dr. T Hassan Johnson when he says, when you hear a young woman that like you see the wheels turning. I'm adding extra to it to get to the point, but when he's like you see the wheels turning and she says like, have we ever considered that the black community might be a matriarchy, and she kind of gets like pushed out the room type thing or like hushed up, like, yeah, because we don't want to start forwarding that, because then everything makes sense. And bro, if once you acknowledge that the black community is a matriarchy, what Alvin was saying makes sense. Josh and Eddie makes sense. Black men passport bros and SYSBM makes sense. Black men dating out makes sense. White black women worshiping at the altar of white men makes sense. All of it makes sense. Black women and their rhetoric over the past 50, 60 years makes sense. All of it makes sense once you acknowledge that the black community is a matriarchy, right? And that's all it is. Go ahead.
can I get a quick three things
Go,
to
go, go
you
ahead. Go
and Big
ahead.
Kev?
Mhm.
So first thing, with what Kev was saying about us not being those men, the thing that always gets overlooked, where I'm from, we call it swamp justice, but that my granddad told me certain stories like you couldn't really have a monster in the community back in the day, like a guy who was beating on and abusing women like that. And not to say everybody was in everybody's business, but like there was only so much you could do that would be accepted before you turned up missing in a swamp.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the whole thing of it is very much an emotional appeal. And it has to be an emotional appeal because when you ground a discussion in empiricism, the data says something different. So they always have to run. That's where you're right, Kev. Like they always have to run to the emotional.
The data says they're liars. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Let's tell the truth. The data says you're fucking lying. Some of y'all are telling the truth. Most of you niggas are lying. That's what the data says. The pattern of behavior, what you accuse majority of so-called black men of being is not consistent with the historical, statistical, and cultural behavior of the vast majority of so-called black men from high class, middle class, lower class, dirt poor, homeless, etc., etc., etc. It's not consistent. Again, like what Mr. Z said, it's black men boogeyman stories so they can beg white leftists for validation and for resources.
Yeah.
And you brought up what was on my mind, which I had a question. Why don't they just tell the truth then?
Because it destroys their credibility.
Brother.
Easy. It destroys their credibility. Think about it, right? If all these trad cons and far leftists have been lecturing down the men about how we're just these big, bad, angry misogynists, and then the truth comes out that actually most of us are actually pretty chill. It's the broads that won't act right. Well, guess what? All that men need to do a better argument for the most part, outside of things within our personal control, that has no relevance to us whatsoever.
Yeah.
That's what's going to happen.
Can I add something to that, brother? Can I add something to that? You want black intersectional feminists to tell the truth about the position of white feminists? Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
I'll add something even. If I may, I'll add
Go.
something.
Snow and then better you. Go ahead.
I'll listen. You asking them to do that, as the dearly departed Godfather said best. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
On one
No, you're good, Brian. Go ahead, better. Go ahead.
This is the thing. They did acknowledge it. It was basically like a footnote. I don't know if anybody caught it, but it was like somebody going 100 over a speed bump. They did acknowledge it at one point because they talked after the whole discussion. I believe they were talking about just for sake of your channel, I'll say Red Rum, and how they at the very end of the discussion, he was like, "Yeah, and it's actually something really very rare." So we're talking about like something really infinitesimally small, and then they moved on. But he said it so quick, it was like the disclaimer at the end of the medical commercial. Yeah, it might cure your headache, but it'll make your balls explode and all this. Third is shit bricks for days.
Not better you. Not better you. Don't you know you're a black man and you're not supposed to use words like infinitesimal, like I use occasion during my sports show?
Better you. We need you to say very small.
You know what? Mr. Z, you know this, and most of the guys on the panel and in the chat know this. You know how often my wife teases me about the words that I use, especially if I'm like describing something during a show or during a game. She teases me all the time saying, "You're not supposed to use words like that." All of us are in a fit of giggles because I got it all the time growing up. I got it all the time, and I
did too, and I hated that shit.
I say the same thing to those haters today that I said back in the late 70s, early 80s, going through grammar school. Who cares? I'm using them anyway.
Whenever you want to jump in, you can. But it's just and I'm glad actually G's up here too, because like G was dealing with these women on the ground. He's still kind of dealing with a little bit on the ground, right? So like, and it's scary watching three black men essentially, I'm not even essentially, straight up dismiss and minimize what we're saying, and tell you like what you're talking about is just it's bunk. If we get to all the issues that the women are talking about first, then I promise you that when we get to you, you won't have an issue because we would have solved it, because your issue is linked to their issue. Your issue is really your concepts of manhood and masculinity. It has nothing to do with her.
And people wonder why I went the
Mhm.
way that I did when I married Jody.
Yeah.
Hey, how the brothers doing today? How the brothers doing?
What's going
We
on, G?
doing
What's up with
Oh
you?
yeah,
Yeah.
oh
you
yeah, and
know,
by the way, everybody on the panel in the chat, can everybody please cash app Snowman Media like $5, $3 to $5? It's real simple.
I'll
Cash
throw
app
my I'll throw my
Tall
cash up.
Man Doctor. Yep,
Oh,
Tall
you
Man
got it?
Doctor K. Yep,
Okay.
I
Well,
got
yeah,
you.
this what I'm gonna
Yeah.
say. Like, y'all know how I feel about this. I feel like this shit. There ain't no point in discussing it, right? But the only way this shit gonna work out, like that, we survive as I don't know if we want to call it race or ethnic group. The only way we survive as an ethnic group is if black ADOS men become what they talking about. Like that's the conclusion I've came to. Until we become the whoop a bitch ass, rolling stone ass dude, they not gonna respect us. Cause I think they reverse psychology telling us what they want. They
Hmm.
want you. They want you to beat them up. They want you to yell at them.
Oh
They
Oh,
want
God.
I've been told that, and it's the truth. But G has an actual point. It's the truth. It's the truth. They are
they
low
want you to do
reverse
that.
psychology telling us what they want us to do, and at
Hmm.
the same time, when it happens, when a man is pushed and pushed and pushed to a point where that's the last straw, the final reaction, what's the next call they make?
Yeah, they want to have sex after that. They want to have sex with them. As soon as you slap them in their shit, you say something. They want to have sex now. Now they
Yeah, you
love you.
can't.
Please don't leave me.
There's
You
a
can't
whole
have
lot of
me.
like there's a whole lot of things that we don't, because I remember watching something and it was a white woman speaking, and she was speaking about like I want to say she was describing like maybe the 70s. They all went up to her and a couple of other couples went up somewhere, and she overheard another white woman talking, like trying to push her husband off. No, I don't want to do that, and da da da. And she spoke to her the next morning, and she was like, "Oh no, that's what we do." Right? Like I pretend like I don't want it, and he like kind of forces it on me, and like that's what I like that, right?
I saw a
And
video
like
about that. It's called
Yeah, we.
CSC.
Hey,
Bro,
you can't
but
have me and G on the same stream. You know what I'm
look,
saying? So I'm
I'm
gonna go with
dealing with
you.
the scumbag. It's scumbag day today, bro. We it's
We're
nah,
going all the way
but
in
listen
today.
though, Zo,
all the way.
the
We're going
issue
all
with
the way
black
in
women
today.
though, for real.
Got
Listen,
to.
Hypocrisy has kicked open the doors, and we're walking through
Louis.
hypocrisy.
Hey,
I would say,
hey,
I would say,
listen,
shout out
Zo.
to Charles Faulkner Jr. Like he said, like, y'all ain't shit. Who said we were? I never claimed I was. Go ahead.
But
it's
this is what I'm saying. So
Hmm.
most black women think that they tough. Like they think that they're tough. They
I'm
think they can
telling you.
challenge men.
man alive.
Like the only
Mhm.
thing they respect is being dominated. Like they don't respect you being civilized and intelligent and respectful. They don't respect that. Like
Right.
they understand it to a certain point, but you gotta just be a dom with them. You gotta dom bitch, shut up. Go cook. Get the fuck out my face. That's how you
But
gotta talk.
here's the problem. When you it's not I'm not even saying that about the women right now. The Alvins, the Josh, and not so much Josh probably I'm gonna put Josh to the side for a second. But definitely Alvin and Eddie act like that's not a thing. Eddie might Alvin, more Alvin, screw that. The chubby nigga act like that's not a thing.
No, that's
And I'm
what they
like, bro,
that's how
like the way he was speaking, it was just driving me crazy. Because I'm like, bro, you know better. Either you know, or you like, or this is like super simping for the vagina. I need to find out if I'm in a relationship or not. Because if he's not, that would say a
You,
whole lot.
Is that
That
is that
nigga
the
ain't
guy
in
with the
no
gray
relationship.
background? The guy with the gray
so
background?
Alvin
I
was
know
the chubby dude in the top left corner.
Oh yeah,
He was
he
so
definitely
the
gets
fat
cheated
guy
on,
with the
man. He
Vegeta
definitely
hairline.
gets
so
cheated,
I know
man.
you seen the post.
Yeah.
Listen, I know y'all seen the post on Facebook where the
Mhm.
young black girls to be saying, "I can't wait to get snatched out the club this summer." Like that's what they thrive on. They want a nigga to come in there, grab them by their hair, and drag them out the club. Like
caveman
that's
That's
style.
just
fantasy.
confusing. Ain't there
Mhm.
laws against that shit?
But yeah, yes, but
Like
here's the thing. We went too far in the opposite direction, and the problem is our the laws and the way we view intimate relationships is very midwestern white mom ass way. So different women that like different type of shit, like what G is describing, we act like that's not a thing, and we ignore that. We ignore the women, like G is saying, that want to be dominated. We ignore the women that get off on toxic relationships, particularly in the Black community. We ignore the violent women, the I slapped him, he slapped me, and oh my God, we woke up in bed together. Like, we ignore that because middle class Midwestern moms act like, first of all, like none of them do that shit. It's like we've modified this entire society to kind of speak to them. Give me a second, y'all. Y'all talk amongst yourselves.
But what
Man,
Steve was saying, the Middle
I
Western.
didn't experience this. I've experienced this multiple times. I'm not gonna say lately because y'all know I'm married and shit. But in the past, where girls told me I didn't let you hit because you weren't aggressive, and okay, I try to draw the line of what SA and R is in my head, and I don't cross that line. and I've had multiple women tell me, yeah, I was gonna let you hit, but you weren't enough aggressive.
You know how many times
You just like.
You know how many times I have been told that when I went through my abusive relationship, I was told that, and I even look, I kept it civil. I said, look, as mad as I can get at you, I won't get as mad as I can get at you. I won't get mad towards you. Wouldn't listen until the day I told her to kick rocks, and I did it verbally. And I said, you know what? We're done. And those two words hurt more than anything else. To the point where she stalked my crazy ass.
Look,
That's like supposed to break up over the phone.
Listen, bro, I used to deal with this one young lady, right? Her friends used to swear they hated me. This is the type of shit I used to do. I used to come and just take her car keys and leave. Her friends would be like, oh, I hate that nigga. Woo, woo, woo. Do you know I fucked all of her friends?
Oh, hell yeah.
Wow.
She was advertising for you, bro.
And swear they hated me.
Hey, Pookie ain't put no gas back in the car.
Like, listen what I'm saying to you. We used to be getting into it. I used to take her car keys and leave and shit. I used to do all type of weirdo shit.
Hold up, wait.
I was just young and dumb. I was just doing it. Man,
Question for you, bro.
Had a threesome with two of her friends. One of her friends on the late night one time, like, bring me, what you doing? Woo, 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 woo. But in my face, they swore they hated me. We argued all day. And I slept with all 5 of them women. I fucking
was you taking a car to go see the friends?
Y'all pause for the cause.
Not only that.
Talking about women, real quick, y'all. Pause for the cause. Talking about women. So my lady's sending me to the edge of earth for some food. And there's that.
Get it, nigga.
Oh, wait. And you know who's paying for it too.
You. Z, I gotta ask you a question. Go
ahead.
Okay, so since we're in Slimeball territory, are we using profanity?
Go ahead. Yeah. No, what?
Hell yeah.
It's scumbag. We doing scumbag. What he said? What he said? I want to do hood rat shit with my friends. Go ahead.
All that in 2 words. The G's conversation. This filler, yo. This nigga was listening to Beyonce. And he didn't even put no gas back in the car.
Oh, shit. Listen to what I'm saying. It's not scumbag shit. Listen, it's not scumbag. We've been taught to think about it like scumbag because we have like gallantry and romanticism from white people. That shit's not real. That shit doesn't exist in the real world. These bitches,
you gotta break it down.
Like, you know, the lion. Think about it. The lion don't say shit to the lioness. He fuck whoever he want whenever he wants to. You gotta have that attitude with them bitches. Like, bitch, shut the fuck up before I leave. And then they'll get quiet. You know what I'm saying? Like, shut up before I leave. Because they really don't want you to go nowhere. They really want you to sit there and listen to them complain. That's why you
talk shit the whole time.
Yeah, that's why you go in there, go in there, you get on your Xbox and you just play the Xbox and let her complain. So
let me ask you a question. I need a fundamental question answer because I understand this, but it's like, where the hell does this fit with being a good nigga? Because none of this shit is good nigga behavior.
Yes, but here's the thing. Listen, I don't know if women are really on the go.
A good nigga got some money and another bitch wants you. That's what makes you.
God damn! See, that's why I knew I should have talked first because that's what I was gonna say.
Right there. Everybody. Right there. Right.
Hey, even Mr. Snow agree with us. That's what it is. That's what it is.
I've been
So
there.
all I need
And
is
by
one
the
bitch.
way, what we're saying applies to all women. This is not a black woman exclusive shit. If you don't got money
talking
and if other
universal.
hoes ain't look, and I like to, bro, and I don't care how toxic it sound. I don't care which one of y'all are listening. If my woman thought that I wasn't sought after by other women, and there's not other women that would give Z a chance, she would still be here, but the enthusiasm wouldn't be the same.
You
And y'all need to be honest about that shit. Ain't nobody want somebody that nobody want. Go ahead.
I want to make a quick amendment to that. It's not money and the attractiveness. It's just the attractiveness, bro.
Yeah.
I'll be real. There was more chick. I was piping more chicks when I ain't had $1 to my name than I am now.
Right. Good point.
It was your confidence. Listen, it was your confidence.
You
It
fuck
wasn't
better
that
when
you
you
was
broke.
attractive. It was that you was
Okay,
broke and you
let's do
still
this.
didn't give a fuck.
Let's do this. G, then Mr. Snow, and then we'll circle back to whoever was trying to speak.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Kev. Kev, you, then G, then Mr. Snow. Go ahead.
I was about to say, obviously, from what you guys are saying, it sounds like to me where like all those things are kind of important, almost like tiebreakers, like, being confident, obviously being physically handsome, being resourceful, being intelligent, like I said, having courage, being brave, being able to set and enforce boundaries, like, I think like all those things are important. It's just
mean the type of shit the Black Manosphere be talking about?
Yep, exactly. Yep. Again, it's just one of those things where, again, that's why I don't.
Y'all talk amongst yourselves. Go ahead.
Yeah, and this is why the vast majority of us don't try to like fault women for like liking guys with like muscular physiques or like being like well groomed or being socially savvy. We're not necessarily complaining about that. What we're talking about is, number one, is the culture of casual disrespect, and number two, it's like you skip over men who have all those dominant traits that won't beat your ass to get with men who will beat your ass and won't apologize for it. That's where people are like, hey man, stop all this bullshit sob stories. Because again, it's like, you can find it's plenty of brothers with all of those dominant traits that are just kind of chill and kind of laid back. You know what I mean?
And waiting.
Won't beat your ass.
Exactly right. Like you said, they won't beat your ass. Like, like if all you wanted to do was just find a strong nigga to pipe you down, you know what I'm saying, and just chill out and just kind of hang out. I'm like, there's plenty of niggas that can do that. Like, there's no shortage of niggas that can do that. So the fact that these women are always quote unquote running into all these quote unquote random misogynists, it's like, no, it's not that the majority of us are these hateful misogynists. Is no, those are the type of men that you find attractive. You're sexually attracted to misogyny. Yeah, like you're sexually attracted to misogyny. That's not a problem with me. That's some on with you. You know what I mean? So that's just how I see it.
I went through that stage in my 30s that was talked about earlier. You want to make a woman shut up, threaten to leave. That's part one. Part two, start to prove it.
Yeah, I did that.
You know a scary thing? Let me tell you. So she called me back just to be like, babe, what card am I using? She has my card information. If my girl wanted to wipe me out, she could. She got both. She got 3 card information saved on her phone.
They no snap your account, bro.
Hey, bro, she don't. You know what? But she don't got the savings account. She don't got the savings account. So she don't got that, right? I'm doing what black women do. You got your own separate account on the other side. But all the checking stuff. Oh yeah, she got the credit card and the check-ins. Oh boy.
Hey, this is what you do.
My woman could wipe me out at any moment, and I'll be cool with it. Well, go ahead.
This is what you do, see.
Go ahead.
After she get the food, you call the bank. Let them know there's been a fraudulent purchase.
Bro, she got a credit card that's only in her name. I swear to God, I'll max that bitch out.
Y'all a fool. All right, I gotta go. I gotta get ready to start taping my Super Bowl special for Sunday.
Oh man.
Okay,
Mr. Snow, thank you for coming up. It's always a pleasure to speak to you.
Yeah, and remember, everybody, please give Snowman $5 in his Cash App. Again, this guy provides really excellent sports commentary. Even though he's a 49ers fan, he's like a football fan more than anything. So he's not one of these dumbass talking heads that just be saying stuff. No, like the guy literally knows what he's talking about. So
I actually, unlike the talking heads on the main networks that are going to get taken over once I buy all those bitches, I actually know what the hell I'm doing and what the hell I'm talking about, and I speak for the fan. I truly do, and I appreciate you guys for having me.
Yes, sir. Thanks for
Take care, bro.
Thank you, Kev. Thanks, guys.
Yep. See you later. Peace, snowman.
Peace.
Another sighting of snowman in South Florida. No, I'm playing. But okay, so yeah, y'all go back to y'all scumbaggery. But G told us it's not scumbag behavior. It's not. It's not going.
I need y'all to school me because again, y'all making sense, but it shit just confusing. I'm trying to be a good nigga out here.
No, but no. Be no. I will say, be who you are. Yep. Be who you are, and the women that fuck with you will make it known. They will make it known. Yeah. Right? Yeah. Be who you are. Don't try to be anybody other than who you are. Because then you're gonna be sounding like these women out here, right? I want to be a white woman. But for them, that's really what it is. Let me be very clear. All right. Most women of color are trying to be upper middle class white women. Like that's the goal for women. Yeah. And they swear, and this is where projection come in. They swear we're trying to be white men. Right? They swear we're trying to be white men. Meanwhile, when I see black men move and talk and act, it's everything. I posted in my comments, not in my comments, sorry, in my community chat, one of the original outlaw street racer, black man, right? Still alive, right? Made $1 million off of street racing, bro. Right? So I posted that. When you look at as a car person, back in the day, and any older head, definitely extras could tell you this. Impala, 70s Impalas and Caprices, nobody was messing with that. That was the throwaway car your grandma gave you. Yeah. Black men are the ones that turn dunks into dunks. Right? Because the white boys were messing with the Camaros and the Trans Ams and stuff like that, right? The Regals and the Cutlass and the G-bodies, everybody liked G-bodies, right? But black dudes, it was brothers in the South because the brothers on the West Coast and the Latinos on the West Coast was messing with the lowriders. They were messing with the 60s Impalas, but nobody was messing with the 70s Impalas except for mainly brothers in the South. And brothers in the South now have these big boat ass cars on 26s and 28s running 9 seconds in a quarter mile, 10 seconds in a quarter mile, 11 seconds in a quarter mile. We're talking about boats that are in 28s and 26s with paper thin tires. Right? So when I say all of that to say, be who you are. Don't be with the sisters and the Latinas and the Asian women and all these. They trying to be white women. Don't be like them. Right? Don't try to be a white man or any type of. Just be who you are, and you'll be all right.
That's why I say I define my own patriarchy. You know what I'm saying? That's literally what I mean. People are trying to forcibly make people be something that they're not. And when there's something they don't like, they tell you you're trying to be patriarchal or whatever. So I just sit down when people say, "Oh, you want to be a patriarch?" I say, "No, I just define what I want. And if you want to call that patriarchy, you're free to call it."
No, but listen, you shouldn't even do that with these hoes. Just be like, yeah, bitch, I'm a patriarch. Yes, bitch, I believe in patriarchy. Because listen, from the black woman's point of view, that's how the white man behaves.
Yes.
From a black woman's point of view, a white man.
Hey, I'm going to exit out and enter back in because my volume is weird.
Okay, go ahead.
Can you guys hear me?
No, I can hear you. Go ahead.
Yeah, from a black woman's point of view, a white man do whatever the fuck he wants.
Yep. Right. Yep.
That's from her point of view. She don't.
Now you went out, G. I don't know if it's me or if it's you. Yeah, you went out just now.
I started doing what I want, bro. It's no good for nobody.
But when you say, see, there's doing what you want, but don't take that as extreme as it can be taken. we still don't want to see you on tonight's news, right? We still don't want to see you on evening news.
Well,
But
stop picking niggas up by their ankle.
right, like it is an air of confidence. It is je ne sais quoi. It is a way you walk in, but you can't act it. You got to be it, right?
Right.
Go ahead.
The thing about it is, when you're yourself, that's when you're in your most natural and your most
Yes.
authentic, and it does portray an air of strength and integrity as well.
Yes.
So I've coached people on this. Like, I've told people, like, hey, look, if you're the nerdy guy, like, don't try to act like whoever you see on a movie or TV show or whatever. Like, be you. The thing that you have to always keep in mind and always know, hey, look, not everybody go rock with you. That's no matter if you
Yep.
was the coolest dude on the fucking planet. There's
Facts.
gonna be some people that just don't rock with you, and that's cool. The big thing is, when you yourself, it's a magnetism that comes with it, and the people that are for you, the ladies that are for you, like, they get drawn to it.
Yes.
Like, I can't explain it. Like, once you be yourself, and especially like if you get yourself put together where, like, you're in shape, you get stability in terms of, like, financial and social footing and things like that. Like, bro, like that's like an aphrodisiac. Like, they'll start throwing pussy at you like Roger Clemens, bro.
Bro, it's crazy how better you. So, like, your look together. So, yeah, go ahead.
That's one thing. I was in the Discord. We were talking about that. So it used to be almost embarrassing to watch Dragon Ball Z or anime or draw or do certain things.
Yeah,
like
now it's considered cool. Yep.
For being a nerd.
Yep. Now it's considered cool.
And that's the thing. Now it's considered cool and it's considered normal. So a lot, basically, between me and the guys, like, I said, we were afraid to be nerds, so we engaged in being thugs too.
Yeah, niggas used to
try to block out the fact that we were, the fact that we were nerds, or we like drawing, or liked anime, or like whatever. Now it's so I hate trying to say acceptable.
It's normalized.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that the new generation, I see that they don't have the same worry that mid 30, 40 guys had growing up.
30.
Showing that we were nerds.
A girl asked me the other day what was my favorite anime.
Y'all gotta
I
thank
was
us.
like, I don't know.
Listen, y'all gotta thank us millennials for that, because we made that. We used to rush home to watch Pokemon and Dragon Ball Z.
Serious though.
Yep. I ran away because the girls didn't want to watch Dragon Ball Z. I ran them 4 hours in my grandfather's house one time. That's a whole nother story for a different day.
It really is. You have to be who you are. So out of my friend circle and even my associates and college friends, I was the first one to go fitted. When the whole fitted thing started, when we started moving away from baggy, I was the first one. And you better believe Z was getting flamed. When I say flamed, flamed. And guess what? Slowly but surely, everybody jeans start getting no air in them. So I'm not saying niggas went fitted the way I went fitted, but niggas wasn't baggy like they were back in 05 and 04, right? Niggas wasn't baggy like they were in 03 and 01. Like, that wasn't a thing anymore, right? So I transitioned and I pretty much stayed there. Now we're not as fitted as we was. We went too far with the fitted shit. Like, we went super baggy in the 90s and in the early aughts, and then we went too fitted. And now I think most men have a happy medium now, especially black men. And that's kind of where I am. But I was the first one to go fitted. And I'm saying that to you to say,
my happiness is where I can still hide the strap. Okay, if I can hide the strap, we good.
I'll say this: when I transitioned to fitted, it feels weird saying transitioned, especially in this day and age. But when I changed to fitted clothes, the women that were attracted to it. Were most? No. Especially black young women at the time? No. Were there a couple? Yes. Right? But at that time, the Latinas and the white girls was really what it was that would gravitate into Z. Right? So, like, that, And it just, when you are who you are, the women that appreciate who you are, the ones that gravitate to you, and the ones that are not, that do not find you attractive or do not find you appealing, they're gonna make it known. They're gonna make it known, and that's a good thing for you because you'll know not to, mess with them like that, right? Now,
Right.
here's the kicker. One day, maybe a couple of the same women that weren't attracted to you or appealed or didn't find you appealing
Double
2 and 5 years ago, man, do they double back? Ooh, dude, I know this from experience. You will be hearing some of your boys or some people that you haven't even spoken to in a while. And you know who asked me about you the other day? Such and such. And you'd be like, what? Like, first of all, you might not even remember who the hell such and such is. I'm telling y'all. And if you do, you'll be like, oh, really? Yeah. She asked me about you. She asked me about you like 2 weeks ago. Oh, word? And I'm not going to lie to you. You're going to feel the same way. You're going to be like, ha ha. I'm telling you. So, yeah, you're going to be over it. Trust me. The women that you think that you're going to care about getting them back, oftentimes, man, by the time you get to where you're going in life or as you're transitioning through life, you ain't even going to care. When somebody is gonna tell you like, oh, such and such spoke about you the other day, or she didn't even remember your name. Like they won't even remember your name, maybe, but they'll be like, hey, remember the dude y'all used to chill with? He used to dress like this, or he used to wear this, or he used to drive this, and you'd be like, and now your friend will be like, oh yeah, such and such. I'm like, oh, how he doing? And when he comes back and relay the message to you, you won't even care. I'm telling you, man, just be who you are, and I'm telling you.
Listen, them girls you was attracted to, you won't even be attracted to them when you see them.
Most of the times, it's true.
That's
It's
right.
true.
I can't believe I used to like Shorty.
Especially like all of us that's in our 30s, man. I'm telling you, like women cap a lot. Most women cap out at like 27, 28. 27, 28, they cap. Bro. They fall off. But on the other side of 30, they fall off a goddamn. First of all, that's if they didn't have. That's if they had kids. Many of them are gonna have kids before the age of 30, 32. But even
Like
for the ones that
6%.
don't, you see the weight, right? You see the weight. Some of the wrinkles start to pop up, right? Excuse me. You see where they are in their careers or lack thereof, right? Where their life trajectory, because like at 32, 33, 34, you really get to see like, okay, like that's when all the stuff that you did or didn't do in your 20s put you in the position in your 30s. And so like all these women that were the ish in early college or were the ish in high school, in your 30s, you start to hear and like, oh, such and such doing really good. You'll be like, oh, well, that's what's up. And then other times you'll be walking through certain places and some of the women that you thought they would have peaked real high, they're at the place that you at, and you're like, that don't look like you're doing too,
Hey,
Working
so
at Family
like
Dollar.
that's like some of them girls in school where we looked at like, oh, she ain't really nothing. When you
Yeah.
see 15 years later, you're like,
man. So let me
you would grow into that.
No. See, so that's the thing with me. I had the eye for those women, so I'm like never surprised. It was one chick from high school. She had a boyfriend, but she had serious acne, and I kept on telling everybody, "Yo, when her acne clear up." But nobody was. She had a boyfriend, but outside of that, like nobody was paying attention, bro. When I tell you, I was like 24 or something like that, and she was a year younger than me, so she was 23. When I saw, I was like, I knew it. I knew you were gonna be a baddie, but she had a man by that time. But
Hey,
yeah,
V,
I
did
knew
she
it.
wear
Good.
glasses?
The late mature girls.
Yeah,
that
she wore
niggas
glasses.
don't get
That's funny.
in
Knew
line.
it.
You talking about basically the late maturing girls that niggas don't get in line and y'all chasing
Yeah,
after semi-thick chick that gut gonna be hanging out. One woman was
yeah.
like
But
105 when I
I'm so mad that Leon described something that we all know: the
met her.
thick
Mhm.
chick that become the big chick.
Yep.
Facts.
And then you be giggling when he got the kid with her a few years later you see her. But yeah, no, you gotta like I played the game pretty well my whole life. Like I had a tendency to be cool with a chick, but I didn't want to compete with the 5 other guys because I wasn't in that, so I always snatched up the ones that people weren't paying attention to. 3 months
Mm,
later, everybody's trying to pay attention to. I
yeah.
always played that fucking game. That was I just didn't like standing in line. And then you got like 4 other guys that's trying to what is the word when you're trying to what is the fucking word when you're trying to show a girl that you're a good guy, or what is it when you're taking her out and you're treating her? What's the fucking word?
Courting, dating? What you mean?
Courting. You got all these guys trying to court her. She knows she hot. I'm not standing in that line.
Yeah.
I'm gonna find somebody that nobody even paying attention to.
Yeah. I was definitely that dude. Especially like college years. And so I don't know, like it when you find your lane, and here's the thing too. So when you find your lane of the type of women that find you attractive, man, you're gonna be in a good spot. You're gonna be in a good spot. There are brothers that are just universally attractive and handsome, and like every chick want to jump his bones. And then there's those of us that have a lane, and when you're in that lane, you're the man in that lane. You might be the man in another lane too, but you're not. You will be comfortable with not being the man in all the lanes. There are a few different type of men: white men, Asian men, black men. Yeah. Once you find your type, you'll be okay. Because, like I said, there's dudes that pretty much, if it's a 7-lane highway, they the man in 7 lanes. But that's rare, right? Most of us are the man in 1 or 2 lanes, and that's okay. But when you find your lane, you will know the type of women that are attracted to you. They will let it be known, and the women that are not will let it be known, right? You know, and sometimes there's some cross pollination, but not really, right? Not really, and that's okay.
Like I put it, just simple. How I put it, when it comes to that lane that you only can afford to be in for a week. If you want to be in it for a week, baby, be in it for a week.
I've done it.
But look, though, this is the thing.
I was a motherfucking minute
I
back.
think we underestimated, right? I think we underestimated how much women's peer group affect the dudes that they fuck with when they're younger.
No, that's a fact. No, you're right.
What happens in our 30s. Because I remember, I watched it with my girl cousins, right? One of my girl cousins specifically liked it, one of my friends. But the girls that she hung out with thought the nigga was ugly, so she didn't talk to him. Later on in life, she asked me, like, what's up with your homie Tron? I'm like, nigga, Tron married. He got 5 kids. He ain't about to fuck with you.
Girl, not thinking about you.
But I remember when we was younger, you know what I'm saying? I remember when we was younger, Tron used to try to holler at her. And she used to always like, he dusty, this and that. But it wasn't because she didn't like him. It's because of her friends thought he was that. Yep. So I think what happened to these bitches in their 30s is they get away from that peer group. Yeah. See, black women got like a beehive type mind where they follow.
That's why we call it the hive model.
They follow who they think. They follow who they think the popping bitch is.
Yeah, that's a fact.
You know what I'm saying?
Bro, I have a homegirl right now, G. When she does her hood girl laugh, I know exactly where she got it from. And one time I told her, I was like, you got that from such and such. Right? I ain't gonna say it because she subscribed to my channel, so I don't want her to. First of all, if you listening, yes, I'm talking about you, but I ain't gonna put you on the spot like that. Right? So like, and I
black bitches.
Gee, I thought that was a hierarchy diary where they start checking out the guys that won't pick up no more, and they finally see that nigga, and they're like, okay, your turn. I thought that was
no. So like, what G is saying is true, because that whoever the cool chick was in high school, I promise you, bro, if you ask your homegirls from high school, they remember her name. 20 years later, they still remember her name. 15 years later, they still and the dude that they found attractive that might not have even noticed them or didn't give them no play or had a girlfriend or whoever, they still remember his name.
Yeah,
bro, it's scary how, and that's what I was trying to tell FD. Bro, you have no idea how much the women that are speaking right now, the greed of making money, careers, you think they don't care about this. I promise you. These chicks remember the name of the dude that they found attractive 25 years ago because it's a form of arrested development. They're still angry that they weren't that chick, and people swear that's not a thing. It's a thing.
It is a thing, because like I said, that'll be the main chick I avoid, and I'll go holler at another girl that nobody paying attention to. That was my ballpark.
Like what Z's talking about.
Go ahead, yo. We got about 20 minutes because Mr. Z got a jet in about 20 minutes. Go ahead.
There was a lady from Alabama I got introduced through my cousin to, and she's like maybe 20 years older than me. She looks a little younger though, but we got to talking, and it was like, dang, I didn't know you was that old, but whatever. And when I tell you, when we started talking about previous relationships and stuff,
Was this before or after you rearranged your spine? Go ahead.
oh, I actually never did anything.
Oh
Like,
man.
yeah, like this man. I ain't about to drive no goddamn balance.
Go ahead.
I ain't been that down bad before. But, we got to talking one day, and she was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna be coming down to Augusta and everything." I'm like, "All right, whatever." And I asked about previous relationships. When I tell you, she literally talked about the guy from fucking 8th grade and how he rejected her and how much it hurt her, and it was so visceral. You know how like if tragic events get blazing into your mind and they don't really fade much. It was
Bruh.
that level of detail that she was describing shit with. And I was like, yo, man, let that shit go. She's like, no. Like,
Bruh. Do y'all understand, like, listening to Bowser mention going to prom with a white dude because the black nerds weren't checking for her? One time, I think his name is Hubert, the brother out there in northern New York. BGS was on his channel like 3 years ago, maybe, and he was talking to one of the sisters. She gotta be in her 40s at the time, late 30s, maybe 40s. Bruh, she was and BJ was like, so what happened? And she was like, well, it goes back to when I was 15. I was like, holy shit, she said 15. Oh god. And then wait, we not finished yet. Then you got Real Talk with Yanni, about to be 30, talking about where was my hug when I was 16 years old? I'm like, bitch, you're like 28. Why are you still talking about 16? That's 12 years ago. You are an adult. Okay, fine. So remember, I said Kim Foster, I said Bowser, I said Real Talk with Yanni. Oh, Chrissy, right? Chrissy does that too. Who else? I'm forgetting one more person. Oh, Stefco. Oh, Stefco said when she was 8 years old. Stefco's about to be goddamn 40. So that lets you, like, these women, bro, like, better you were saying, 30 something, 40 something, 50 something years old, and it's very visceral for them. The boys that didn't find them attractive in elementary school, middle school, high school, the it girl and what she was like let me say this again because I think people have heard me say this before, but I haven't said it in a while. Their dream is to drive back to where they used to live, pull up in whatever expensive car, Bentley, whatever, Rolls Royce, whatever, expensive ass S-Class, have their man go inside with the black card, be handsome as hell, drop the card in front of the girl that used to be the it girl, and in a way, and she looks out the window, and she sees whoever the hell this woman is, and she gets to flex and be like, yeah, that's my man, that's his car, I'm living this life, he paid for this pussy. Like, that's really the type of shit that we're talking about. And I think the men we're describing, Alvin, Josh, and Eddie, think that degreed, highly accomplished women don't have these stories and these movies played on in their head. I promise you, Bowser has that movie played on in her head. I promise you.
They sound just like I used to when I was younger,
And that's the thing, so that's why I say I don't think it actually has too much to do with us as men.
Yeah.
Like, it's some weird.
G, give me a second, G. Let me cut you off real quick. Trell said it perfectly here. Trell said class reunion flex fantasy. That's exactly what it is. Go ahead, finish, G.
And that's what I'm saying. It's not actually the males per se as much as it is women look at each other different than men look at each other. I used to think that men were in competition with each other, and we're really not. We're kind of more in congregation with each other. Women are really in competition with each other at all times. Like, that shit bugs me out, how you'll just be sitting with a random woman. You'll go into a restaurant and immediately she start critiquing the other women in the restaurant.
Yeah.
Look at her hair.
I didn't notice that women were in competition with each other till I got like my late 20s.
Yeah, I started noticing in my late 20s, like, why is you even looking at that woman? You know, because, like, as a man, I'm 5'10". I've never looked at a 6'3" nigga like, fuck this 6'3" ass nigga.
Right?
You know what I'm saying?
But here's the thing.
You just thinking it like, wait until I get my bag.
because you know what it is. Like you're confident in yourself. I think I'm starting to really play with the idea that women are eternally have self-esteem issues. I think because what we're saying here is when they see a threat, like okay, when you're in a room with a brother, you may not be doing that, but you are assessing like, okay, if I was to get in a fight with this nigga, I'm gonna have to hit this nigga with a chair because this nigga big, right? Like you doing that in their mind, they're thinking to themselves. At least the way I'm seeing it is, they're thinking to themselves, that chick is cute. She might be able to snatch this nigga. That chick got a fat ass. She might be able to snatch this nigga. That chick, oh, she's quiet and she's in the corner and she's mysterious. I'm gonna put her on the side over here. We don't know what she about. Like the way
Sex-driven
I'm.
self-esteem?
Wait, say that again.
Well, sex-driven self-esteem?
Yeah, like I think no, I
because
really do think we're talking about because bro, I'm not hearkening back, and when I hear y'all, we're not hearkening back to. I don't hear anybody like even Obsidian brought it up in a certain way, right? But I don't hear black men hearkening back to high school shit, man. Right?
I
But
can,
when
but I
you
won't.
We
I'm better
we
than that.
do, but it's
yeah
different.
yeah go ahead.
For us, those things that stand out, like what I just mentioned with old girl,
Hmm.
those are the things that we internalize and use to fuel and better ourselves more often than not.
Yeah.
Hmm.
yeah,
They seem
because
to
mostly
dwell in those things, and it's just not even a whole lot of digging that you have
Yeah.
to
it's
do
the
because it was like, this very first second meeting, I was like, yeah, so what happened in your last relationship? And it's like, bam, oh fuck, what
Yeah.
skeletons is in the goddamn closet then?
well, it's different
Yeah.
for ladies because you can't change that you don't got no body in that fucking 8th grade, 9th grade to 12th grade until you 26 and now you got a body. But the same thing goes when everybody knows who the pretty girl is.
Yes.
And you're just not as pretty. It's different like with us. We just not the starting quarterback or the star basketball player or
Hmm.
the tall ass buff kid that just matured before everybody else did. You know what I'm saying? So
Hmm.
it's like,
Hmm.
okay, I can work to improve myself to be seen more. And if I'm not bitter, I might see that girl when I'm 26 and she might not have kids and she might give me a chance. You know what I'm saying? But just being ugly or just not attractive doesn't change. So what they do, it's not only being pretty, it's literally having bags, jewelry, uh,
Yes.
products of status to show that I'm better than the next woman. That's why women be
Yes.
like, look at what she has on, because you're always being compared to the next woman.
Compensation for what they lack.
Yeah. So you're still
No.
ugly. You can still buy all the
Yeah.
jewelry and
Well,
whatever.
so that's the issue with women that we don't necessarily see as particularly attractive, and you hear this from Bowser herself. It's a constant reminder when we don't, bro. I think Ostefko said it best when she walked into the bar or the whatever it was on her birthday, and she said not a head turned, and then her homegirl, I think she said she's mixed or she's light skinned or whatever, walked in and heads were turning. So understand something. You as a man, almost instinctually, you smell. Oh, that's fine. Something's fine around here. Something's fine around, and you're turning your head. You're not doing that to be necessarily offensive to anyone. You don't even notice her, right? But she noticed that you didn't notice her, and she notices that you noticed the homegirl, right? So like
Don't let it be the
stories
don't
like
let it be
that
the
hit them
light skin girl.
so hard. Say that again.
Don't let it be the light skin girl.
Oh yeah, no, but that's my point. Like situations like that hit them so hard, and it stay. This is what Leon is saying. It stays with them, and that's the scary part. It's not. And understand, we're not talking about somebody making fun of you. We're not talking about somebody calling you ugly. We're not talking about someone talking about your hair texture or your nose or anything. We are talking about
Attention.
men literally showing one person attention. And another person didn't get that same type of attention, and the person that didn't get that same type of attention almost sees it as an attack on them.
Man, what's
It's an
up,
attack
women?
on them, right?
And
It's an affront to them. Go ahead.
it amazes me, women in the skin colors. Like this is a purely women created thing. I've
Yeah,
never judged a woman's beauty based on the color of her skin. I've
yeah,
never done that before. Even when you're a little boy, you just think the girls who cute is the girls who cute. You're not actually thinking about what color they are. I
yeah.
see cute white girls, cute dark skinned girls, cute red bones, cute yellow girls. We don't give a fuck what color you is, bitch. If you was blue and cute, we like
Hysterical.
you know what
It's
I'm
true.
saying. But for women, that shit matters deeply. It really affected me, like your hair texture. Like I remember a girl playing in my hair, like, "Oh shit, your hair's soft." Like I'm like, "What you talking about?" Like that shit matters to girls so much that it warps their perception of reality. Like
Well, it
looking at light skinned girls like they the shit. If she's a fine light skinned bitch, she's just a fine light skinned bitch. We not looking at Tika Sumter like she ugly because she dark chocolate.
thank
My
you.
ex was dark skinned, dog, and that shit don't really matter to me. Fine is fine.
Trust me,
Yeah.
he looking for a purple chick himself, blue, black, purple, and it's crazy. Like, G, did you never heard the story of what I with Tika Sumter? Bro, the first time my sister was at the crib, she was watching whatever show that was that she was on, and and I walked in the room and I'm like, oh damn, she bad. Who is that? And my sister was like, well, you don't want to know, right? And she was like, look her up. Her name is Tika Sumter. And I looked up and you see her in the picture with the white dude, and like this is a like I don't know, like one of our favorite women ever. One of the bro, we always reference Keisha from Belly. That is a dark skinned black woman. I
Bad,
don't know what the hell these women be talking about, bro.
bad. But think about it
Bria
like this, though.
Miles,
Hold
these
on.
are dark skinned black women. Amala Negra, that's a dark skinned black woman. Oh, I forgot. She got gray eyes, so she don't count. Bro, y'all are weird, bro.
So see,
Y'all are
I'm
weird.
gonna have a pause moment, right?
Go ahead.
Niggas
Oh
don't care
Lord.
so much, pause, that when X-Men came out, nigga, we was beating our meat to Mystique, nigga.
This thing is stupid, bro.
This nigga. Hold on.
Right?
No,
I wasn't.
but
I
yeah,
wasn't, but
I
I get
use
what
the
you're
same.
saying. I wasn't, but I
I
get what you're saying.
I use the same argument that women use against black men. Hey, that does more with white supremacy and white
Right.
patriarchy than it does with us.
And,
Look,
They're
well,
for instance,
splitting.
Ari
hold on,
Lennox.
real quick, Milan, hold
I
up.
find
So
Ari
I'm the
Lennox
only
super
nigga that hold on.
attractive.
I'm the only nigga that
Go ahead.
thought
Oh,
Rebecca
Ari
Romaine
Lennox. That's
Stamos
my
was
baby,
bad.
man.
Yeah.
Break me up.
And Rebecca Romaine Stamos playing Mystique was bad in the motherfucker. I don't care what nobody. That blue bitch
But
fine.
Yeah,
hysterical. And to me, it's just like there are just women that are just attractive and like, and I do think right time, right place with the right person, and something can happen. I think people are really we putting way too much stock on this ain't going right for me in the interim. I covered a situation a couple of years ago. This was what, like 2.5 years ago at this point, 2 years ago, where it was this really pretty ass. It's in my videos. The one where I covered and she was tearing up and crying because she just came from a wedding and she's like um feeling lonely and whatever. And as a matter of fact, I covered it and then Charles covered it. And this is a super badass sister. And like she's complaining about being single and she said the same thing Ebony K. Williams said, which is like I want what I want. I don't want a nigga. She said I don't want a nigga. I want she said I want that nigga. In other words, I don't want a black man. I don't want a man. I want a very specific type of man. Okay, fine. But then you can't complain about being single then. You're not necessarily quote unquote open to a good guy or a great guy. You want a very specific type of man. There's
You can't be picky and
absolutely
not have
nothing
no,
wrong with that. But then you narrow your pool,
right. You
right?
can't be
yeah.
picky and not want.
I still
Go ahead,
don't
finish up
find it.
finish John Jones and then Leon. Go ahead.
Yeah, like you can't be
Mhm.
picky and not be mad that you don't have anybody. Like I
Bro.
actually had that problem. Like I
Yeah.
used to want this one girl. Like like I had one itis at one point, y'all. It was bad. I
Yeah.
fixed it though. But I couldn't be mad. I didn't have no joints or no
Hmm.
girls when I was only going for a very small pool of girls who I wasn't a type. So the same goes for girls too. You want a certain type
Yeah.
of dude, and you don't limit yourself to that type of person. I mean, you get what you get, which is nothing, because you ain't getting it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like, I think I had one itis back in middle school. I don't think I've ever had one itis again. Let me take that back. I had one itis again in high school. But once I got out of high school, that never, yeah, not anymore. Yeah, because it's just yeah. I I think about women in relationships outside of the black manosphere. I want y'all to understand, for the most part, we're still unique because the things that we explain and we speak about here happens to black men on a daily basis. They just don't have the words, the language for it, and they don't think that it's a systemic thing. They don't really understand how much behind the eight ball they actually are. The average black man, he gets it, but he kind of don't. right? So like, yeah, the things that we speak about here is pretty, it's important. It's important to black men's lives, and I mean everything from romantic relationships to the current economic system to what's going on politically to where black men find themselves and how they could pretty much break the Democratic Party right now. Yeah, and I don't think your average black man really understands the position of black men right now, both
Because
positive
none of it's
and negative.
real, Z. Because
Yeah.
none of it's real,
Somebody
Z.
at Publix?
Oh
Now I
yeah, my
definitely
bad.
hear
That's me.
somebody scanning.
My bad.
Self
What I was
I'm
gonna
checkout
say
ads.
getting
Go
my
was,
ahead.
money.
what I was gonna say was, I don't
Yeah.
mind her standards and the shit that she says. It's more of, okay. I argue with my mom. I'm like, okay, she has this criteria, right? And the majority of men don't meet it. And you saying basically something bad happened to her, and that's why she has that disposition of her attitude about certain things. I say, okay, but if only a certain amount of men fit this criteria, who's
Yep.
left? I
Yep.
said Jeff Bezos or something, and she was like, "No, he's out there." I said, "Mom, stop it." And I'm arguing with mom. She's like, he's out there. She just doesn't know who he is yet, and he doesn't know. And I'm like, Mom, stop
They
it.
don't. They don't.
Listen,
And this is the fundamental issue. What Leon is saying. The math ain't mathing for what they're talking about.
yeah, my mom
Bro,
didn't care about the math, bro. She didn't care
bro.
about the
I
math. I
I
said,
I
Mom, she
loved
owns
watching.
social media. She owns
You're about
TV.
to make me go down a Kevin Samuels rabbit hole. I might do that tonight because I just loved watching Kevin. It's not about breaking women. When he's like, "What you looking for?" and they're like, "Oh, I need a man that earned this, that look like this, da, da, da." 10% of men earn that, right? And you could see the cognitive disconnect when Abba was on when him and
Kevin
Fresh
Samuels.
and Fit weren't beefing yet. When he was on Fresh and Fit and he was talking to the Latina and he was like, "Yo, you're describing like 2% of men." And later on he asked I'm gonna get asked out. There we go. He posed a question and he said um how many women do you think how many women could get this type of man and this Latina said all and you could see like Abba like this right like he's about to explode because it just speaks to a cognitive disconnect from reality. You
Can you put that
said,
on the community tab?
yeah, I'll if I could find it, I'll try to post it because it really was a sobering moment to see because you could see that she didn't deny. Let me say that she didn't disagree with what Abba was saying. You could tell that she knew what Abba was saying was the truth. That wasn't the issue. Her issue was somehow it's still achievable for the masses of women. And when you have that type of mindset, I really don't know what you can do, right? But y'all, Mr. Z has to end out. Got life things to do. Got errands to run for the missus and get food and shit. So okay, so
All right,
I want to
see you later,
do
Joe.
yeah. Thanks for coming up, G. Thanks for coming up.
Brody,
Um, I want to do the Doomer stream. Shout out to Compassion and Callus. I want to do the Doomer stream Monday, if possible, or Friday. Monday. Um, so let me shoot for Monday. Um, and we, like I said, I just want to talk facts. And like, if the facts just happen to be dark, so be it. And sobering, so be it. Um, and I think that we are the best position to accept the current environment, especially being black men in this society. So yeah, I want to do that's the goal. The goal is to do the Doomer stream on Monday. I do not want to do it next Friday, although if worse come to worse, I will. But I want to do it Monday. Hopefully, and yeah, let's shoot for that. Um,
What time?
probably around the same time. Probably around the same time I started this stream today. So like that's a like let's say I'll start at like 2:35 ish, 2:40 ish, right? So yeah, and like I said, yeah. And Dre said, "Get your women her food. See, no Popeyes either. No, we ain't doing Popeyes. We ain't doing. We're doing a local spot. Well, actually, I don't know. Is it local? But they have like really good food. It's called Pinchos. It's not bad. I got like a chicken sandwich and two steak paws shish kebabs and fried cheese. Excuse me. And yeah. And I don't know what she got. She don't eat like me. My lady actually eats good and I eat like trash. So yeah, I can't even blame my diet on her. So yeah, there's that. I can't even. Right. So that's the plan. I'm betting you got anything?
Oh no, thanks for having me up, man, and
Definitely,
talking
bro.
through this. I don't know how we ended up where we ended up, but hey, it was a fun time anyway.
No, it's good, bro. I enjoy the banter. I enjoy the conversation, bro. Like I said, it's barbershop talk. Shout out to Edward Anderson for coining it that. It really is. And it is good. It's good to talk to brothers from all around the country, even all around the world. You know, with Dre and when the brothers from Africa and Germany call in and whatnot. So like, it's good to talk to brothers from around the planet with different experiences, different backgrounds. Namer when he call in, like. It is good. It is good, right? Like, yeah, man. So, like, if the conversation happens to go somewhere else, then so be it. It's very few times I'm gonna try to stick to like the stream I want to do on Monday. Like that one, I'm gonna try to stick to the point, to the topic. But like when these kind of go wherever, then so be it.
Yeah, I had to recall some of my minister days, man.
Yeah. Man, it's good. Like I said, like when I first joined the Black Manosphere, I kind of got in trouble because a chick that I was dating at the time, a young lady I was dating at the time, I kind of said too much, and she found out, and she kind of got on me about that. But you know, that's what water under the bridge. But yeah, man, you gotta. Now, I'm telling y'all, if you even suspect that your info might be out there, be careful, and you know that doxing thing is real.
Facts. But
Yeah,
you
man.
have a good one, though, bro. Have a good weekend.
All right,
Enjoy
brother.
you later.
All right, y'all. Y'all have a great night. And we will pause right here. Love, peace, and chicken grease. Y'all go check out other Black Manosphere content, other non-Manosphere content, and Mr. Z out. All right, y'all. Peace.